Hey, hey. Some of y'all might be here right now, but I don't think you are. Some of you might be itching to go, itching to watch some old school internet comedy. I don't know when my voice started kicking in for you, just now. But it might have kicked in when I said itching for some internet-based comedy. I was talking for a while before that. But if you're itching for one reason or another, you can either consult a doctor or hang out with me on my channel here, live, watching some YGO Abridged, that is. Abridged, that is. Let me get that go. Abridged, that is. Let me get it posted so people know it's happening. Otherwise, people won't know it's happening. And that would be crazy. I imagine there's a few in the chat. And give me one sec while I'm posting here, and I will attend to your needs. Hello. We see some folks. I see some good folks. Hello, everyone. I'm excited for each of these streams. Lyria, or Lyria, you'll have to forgive me. I think Lyria sounds more correct. But if I'm wrong, feel free to call me out for it. Oh my goodness. Ash Gray with the $50 super chat. Thank you so much. Right off the bat, have you considered making a Yu-Gi-Oh parody series? I think that would be absurd. Who would watch that? Huh? Sounds like a bad idea. Sounds like cringe, as a Beard C-A-T-T, Beard Catty says. You'd be a fool to commit yourself to something like that. First of all, Yu-Gi-Oh has like hundreds of episodes. And they're all about talking about cards. It would be impossible to make so many jokes about that it would remain. It would be a bad idea. Nobody's gonna do that. And if they do, good luck. What is a Yu-Gi-Oh? Welcome, folks. Thank you for stopping by today. It is a Monday. It is Monday, the 27th of July. We're almost all the way through July. Do you know why I'm excited for July to be over? Not even to be over. Do you know why I'm excited for the end of July? My friends and I are going to do a sleepover. Because, you know, we're all a bunch of girls. We're going to do a sleepover in our jammies, telling stories about boys. And we're going to watch all of the Land Before Time movies together. And I say all of them. We're going to watch a bunch of them. I imagine we'll get through maybe 6. Can I record the pillow fight? That would be too lewd. YouTube would take it down. Too sexy for YouTube. Little Karibo with a pillow? No. A fluffed pillow. It's gonna be it's gonna be a good time though. Land Before Time, I've only seen the first one enough that I remember it. The second one I know exists because I remember some of the songs from it. Like No Fear! Or is that something else? Is that the Swan Princess? I feel like that's a song from Land. That's the weird thing about Land Before Time, right? I noticed that the original, and I know we should be talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. Field Explorers, I hope that you get to experience that one day. So the original Land Before Time is the shortest one, right? I discovered this. It's maybe 60, 70 minutes long. It's not... It's the shortest of the Land Before Time movies, presumably because they hadn't invented time yet. But then the later movies are way longer, like by 20, 30 minutes. And... in my opinion, the reason that they're longer is not because they had any more... They didn't have more expansive ideas for the series. They didn't have, like, deeper thoughts that they had to express about these dinosaur children. But they added songs. So I think that that's how they expanded the world of Land Before Time. They added music. Land Before Time, land after music. No Fear is definitely Swan Princess. You know... that's what I thought was going to happen. I was going to get them mixed up. I know Kiefer Sutherland plays Littlefoot's dad, but let's not get too into the reeds with Land Before Time. We're here to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. And me, I guess, a little bit. It's always weird when I have to talk about or think about myself. But hi, I'm Little Karibo. I suppose I should introduce myself. I'm not here to talk about the Land Before Time. I mean, it feels like a Land Before Time, let's be honest. It feels like it's been 60,000 years? 60 million years? I don't know. But it's been long. It's been 20 years. It's been 2 decades. It's been just over 2 decades since I first sat down and plopped on the first episode of YGO Abridged, which was not my first Yu-Gi-Oh! Themed video, as we've established, but it was the first one that sort of caught on and became a running thing. So, we're celebrating that. And honestly, there's a lot to celebrate, because not only was it a lot of fun to make the show, it was a lot of fun meeting people through the show. And as we get further into the series, there's gonna be cameos from various people that I've worked with that I'm excited to talk about, and some cameos from people that I'm probably less excited to talk about. I'm still gonna talk about it and be as candid, but not. I don't want to be negative. I prefer to avoid. The only thing I want to talk negatively about on these streams is my bullshit, is my jokes, because there's plenty to shit talk there. And I do want to acknowledge that there are people in the comments that are like, it bothers me when he says that his jokes are bad because I like them. And I want to give a very special shout out to those of you who feel that way. Seriously, I don't want you to feel like I'm ignoring you, or that I don't understand where you're coming from. Because honestly, if I were to watch an audio commentary for a movie, say Robert Eggers' The Witch, and he spent the whole commentary dunking on the movie, which he does, by the way. If I were to watch that, I'd be like, oh, but I like this. I like this, though. Why are you saying this? But I want you to know, when I do any of that nonsense, whenever I criticize my humor or just my editing techniques or my voiceover, it's really coming from a place of love. It's coming from a self-deprecating place of love where I don't know how to talk about my achievements without doing that a little bit. You know? That's what stands out to me. I don't know about you. When I'm looking at my own work, all I see is the flaws. But there's more than that. Let's celebrate all of the parts of Little Karibo Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged that we all remember and love. Even the daftest parts, even the cringest parts. We've gotten a few super chats while I've been talking nonsense here, so let me read some of those, because I don't want you guys to be giving money willy-nilly without any kind of acknowledgement. Willy and or nilly. Thank you again, Ash Gray, for the $50 super chat. Oh, somebody in the chat. Martin, if Blue Eyes White Spider-Man, great name. Martin, if YouTube wouldn't strike it immediately, I thought of another Lady Gaga song parody you could do, Paparazzi, but make it Pot of Greed. But Paparazzi has paparazzi, 4 syllables. Pot of Greed is 3 syllables. If it was Pot of Greedy, maybe we'd have something. All right, really quickly. I'm sorry, I should be reading these. Foymer, thank you for the super chat. Hiya, Martin, big fan of your work on K-On! The Movie. I was just talking about this to a friend the other day. That was my first professional anime role. My first professional voiceover role, really, I think. But I played the sushi shop manager and various other voices, because the movie is set in England. The little girls, the little K-On! Girls, they go to England. So they needed English, authentic English people, and I am nothing if not somewhat authentic. Yes, I'm in the K-On! Movie. If you don't know this, if you've never seen K-On!, or if you've never realized that I'm there, I'm in the K-On! Movie at various places, at various points. Tony Oliver directed me, and I think that he could tell that I didn't know what I was doing. Chemo B, thank you for the super chat. In before Wake Me Up When September Ends. Well, that would be a lot of this. I'd be like, wake me up when September ends, please. But thank you for the super chat. I'm going to wake up long before that happens. Ice, thank you for the super chat. Finally able to tune into one of these. My high school friends and I quoted you in Team 4-Star all the time. As thanks, have all of Joey Wheeler's money. Hey, man, I got more than... Oh, let me check my bank account. No, it's all gone. Damn it. Every time I put stuff in the bank, it's gone. And the bank guy is like, and it's gone. From South Park. I live in South Park. Morpho Games, thank you for the super chat. Finally catching a stream live. Thank you for everything. You think when the time comes you'll do videos for Season 4 of GX even without the dub? Yes! My intention, and it is my intention, is to do all of GX, even the stuff that wasn't dubbed, because I want to know the whole story, and I'm hoping people will be understanding when I switch over to the Japanese. I imagine they will be, because I assume by that point they want to actually, you know, finish the fight, so to speak. They want to go check out the rest of it. And that's exactly how I feel. I'm like, well, even if it's not dubbed, I want to know. Insomniaran in the chat says, I'm feeling really down right now. Watch the video. It reminded me of the bleak future of media and wondering why I even enjoy it anymore. I tell you what, Insomnia, I know it feels difficult right now. But please, don't give up on your love of media. No matter what they do in regards to physical media, you know, the way that you purchase it, the way you own it, just don't lose heart. There was a time when physical media did not exist, and then they introduced it. I'm not saying that it's automatically gonna, you know, not be an issue, but I want you to know that giving up your love for media is ultimately going to lead to people not loving making media. It's not your fault. I'm just saying that this feeling that you're having, I encourage you to feel differently. I encourage you to explore older media that already exists and find your love of it through that. Just don't give up on it. Like, no matter what the people producing it do, how you feel is what matters more. And I want to encourage you not to fall out of love. That applies to a lot of things. If you find yourself being cynical, if you find yourself thinking, well, why even enjoy this? Or, well, I don't like this anymore, so I'm going to make it worse for, you know, I'm going to generally vocalize my negativity. You know, I understand that desire, but, you know, don't forget, it's worth it to express your love for things just as much as it might feel to express your disdain or your disappointment. The love is what matters, I think. The love is what sticks around. Musard, thank you for the super chat. Hey Martin, we're getting a new Super Robot Wars stream on Saturday. Do you think you'll react to it? React to it? Probably not. I understand there are people who are excited about my feelings about Super Robot Wars, but I've only played the one game, and I just don't know how much my insight... Oh, I guess it's because I did a reaction to the trailer for the last game. If they show a trailer for a new thing, I'll probably react to it, but just the stream itself, I just probably won't have much insight myself. Parzafal, thank you for the super chat. You know what someone should do? Someone should take footage from an anime about a children's card game, redub it with silly voices, and make the episodes shorter. It just sounds like a lot of work. It just sounds like a lot. I feel like whoever commits themselves to doing something like that is going to wake up one day and be like, my whole life is Yu-Gi-Oh! I can't eat, breathe, or sleep without thinking about Yu-Gi-Oh! That's going to be their life. And woe betide them. No, Flippopotamus, we're not done watching. We haven't even started watching. We're about to start watching. Forgive me, I'm getting through super chats. I'm trying to read the chat, read super chats, and jump into the episodes momentarily. You'll have to forgive me. You really will. Sorry about that. Tear the Weird, thank you for the super chat. Duke Devlin, also my fave line is in the vagina word monologue. It's the version of Exodia Obliterate and We're Tormenting You. Oh, I guess I don't understand. Duke Devlin, also my fave line is in the vagina monologues. It's the version of Exodia Obliterate. What do I say instead of Exodia Obliterate? Is it like vagina obliterate? What is it? Stein the Kid, thank you for the super chat. Hey, LK, hope all is well. Could I please ask for two things? Hello, my fellow marks. And Bakura going, how much bloody longer? Do I have to wait another 20 years for the 40th anniversary? Yeah, I apologize. We're still talking a little bit. I apologize. I don't jump right into the video footage. We'll be getting there. Jay Crafters, thank you for the super chat. Hi from Germany. Oh, Guten Tag. Thanks for all your work. Found Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged around 2020. Looking forward to Dark Side of Dimensions Abridged. Oh, hell yeah. Me too. Hope I can find some sleep while listening. Hey, if you want to drift off while listening to the stream, feel free. Hopefully the video footage isn't too loud. I said the vagina twice. Vagina! Vagina! That's okay. Double vagina all the way across the sky. Remember that. Remember that. Mud Wrangler, thank you for the super chat. Hello, love the videos. Found you through Swedish Karibo around 13 years ago, and you really helped me learn English. Oh, Swedish Karibo, shout out. Not a channel I frequented myself, but I was aware of them, and I really appreciate anybody putting effort into helping other people understand my barely decipherable humor. But thank you for that. Real Kenshin, thank you for the super chat. Hey man, been here since the beginning. Little Karibo to Card Games FTW to Little Karibo again. You worked so Team 4-Star and others could run. Congrats on 20 years of making our days better. Oh, you're very kind. And I do like the way you put that, because I do agree. I feel that whatever I set in motion allowed much more creative and talented people to go with the flow and create things like Dragon Ball Z Abridged and Sword Art Online Abridged. Various people who know what they're doing better than me. I'm very grateful to have opened doors for them inadvertently. I like to think that I hopped so they could run, because Karibos don't walk. Karibos float. Float like a Karibo, sting like a Blue Eyes White Dragon. Sizor285, thank you for the super chat. Mr. Karibo, good to see you. My favorite content creator, MBT, is doing a Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged series. Is there any tips you could give him? Oh, for real? Yeah, have fun with it. That's really all I would say. I'm very excited to see it. Very, very curious to see how that'll turn out. But honestly, I mean, depending on the Yu-Gi-Oh! Series he's doing, I don't want to assume he's doing Duel Monsters. But genuinely, if somebody else were to consider doing a Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged based on Duel Monsters, the show that I've been parodying, I would encourage that. There were a lot of people back in the day that were hesitant to do anything Yu-Gi-Oh! Related because they were like, oh, somebody's already done it. Okay, but do it better. Do it differently. Do it however you want to do it. And I'm excited to see that. That's really exciting. He's doing Vrains. Well, that's even better, because I love Vrains. I love what I've seen of Vrains. Ashvek Miga, thank you so much for the super chat. Sends money willy-nilly, regardless. Thank you for willying and nillying. Congrats on 20 years. Here's to more. Well, thank you very much, Ashvek. Harperman's Video Garage, thank you for the super chat. Found Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged when episode 76 was a day old. The series humor is now hardwired into my comedy scroll room. That's beautiful. I love the idea of a scroll room. You've got a video garage and a scroll room. You have the best rooms. Prunky, thank you for the super chat. Hey, LK, are you here to stay? Hope you don't mind. 2 questions. Without Yugi remake? Oh, that would be interesting. The state of things. It's like all those references to the old abridgers. I'd be like, and they're gone, and they're gone, and they're doing something else now. It feels so empty without me because it's literally just me sometimes. And how about full season 0 abridged after the main series? I wouldn't be averse to it. Bakora Chick 200, thank you for the super chat. Been watching since 2007. Congrats on 20 years. I made a lot of online friends because of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged and the Abridged website. That's fantastic. I'm really glad to hear it. The fact that people have bonded because of my nonsense. I keep saying nonsense today. But I'm really grateful when I hear about that stuff. I will quickly get through these super chats. I do apologize. Prasakos, thank you for the thank you for the super chat. What is your favorite dinosaur? The Diplodocus. Tigerman, thank you for the super chat. You think you'll watch 5Ds after GX? I would love to. Fiona Luna Bairn, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for all the laughs and your hard work. Hope you have a great day. Well, thank you for your very kind message, and thank you for the super chat. I'm getting there. I'm sorry, guys. Shelby Rigsby, thank you for the super chat. Thanks for 20 years of laughs, plus 15 years of my brother calling me Haw Biscuit. Oh, I see. Well, that was one of my favorite things that Yami Marek, or Melvin, I should say, did in the Abridged series, was come up with random nicknames for people. That was very specific to him for some reason. He's unhinged. So Gay King 123, thank you for the super chat. Watching on my phone because not even a power outage can keep me from watching live. I actually had a power outage right before the stream. I was worried it would stop me from doing it, so if I suddenly stop at any point, it might be because of that. Mekator, thank you for the super chat. Once the Abridged ends, are you going to continue the GX viewings? I'm going to continue the GX viewings before the Abridged series ends. Don't worry about that. Avion must be missing you ogling his dump truck. Avion, I could only be so lucky. If Avion is aware of me staring at their butt, I apologize to Avion, but also I don't apologize to Avion. You have a real Diplodocus vertebra, Prasicor. That's awesome. Way to go. That's so cool. Blues, thank you for the super chat. Nobody will ever understand the pain I feel, the pain of sending a super chat to the creator of a series I've loved and quoted for 20 years. Damn you, LK. I'll get you back somehow. Well, to that I say, nah. Nah. Sasuke. Damn it, Sasuke! Ha ha! Ninjas! Chemo B, thank you for the super chat. Hey, mine Steves. Hey there. Babaloo, thank you for the super chat. You're such an inspiration to me as a 21-year-old with ulcerative colitis and big dreams. You prove that I can accomplish things anyways, so thank you. Oh, gosh. Babaloo. That's very inspirational to me. You're very kind. Adam Lombardo, thank you for the super chat, and I have to acknowledge that you gave $69.69. Nice. LK, I survived a mass shooting at the Bite of Seattle, and I'm grateful for you and everyone in our community. Sadly, no vampires. Just food and gun violence. I'm sorry that I'm only just getting to your message, but I'm glad you're okay. Wow. Very glad to hear from you, and yes, I'm sorry you had to experience that. You're very generous to give a super chat after all that as well. Very happy you're okay. I'm sorry that anybody was affected by that. And Demo, thank you for the super chat. After your last live stream, my homepage recommended Getting Charmed by Duke Devlin for 25 minutes. Well, we're going to meet Duke Devlin today in the episodes we watch once we get through, once we get there. Spaceman X, just want to thank you for the years of laughs with this series. I watch it over and over. I hope you consider doing GX or 5Ds abridged for your content brings me joy. I'll certainly consider it. I don't know if we'll do it, just because there's a lot of video to worry about. There's a lot of episodes to get through. But speaking of getting through episodes, we gotta watch YGO Abridged. That's the whole point of this, right? 20 years has all been building to this, me looking at the things that I did 20 years ago. These are from 2007, I believe. I will get to your super chats after we watch this one, but this episode, this is going to be interesting because I know that there's controversy surrounding this one a little bit. I'm not going to... There are people in the chat that are like, stop apologizing for these jokes. They're from a long time ago. We get it. And I'm not really apologizing. I don't think that I need to apologize at this point for any of this stuff. You guys know half of the stuff that you know, that's in these videos. I do want to talk about certain things, though, acknowledge them. This episode is episode 21, Massively Multiplayer Online... What is it fully called? I'm going to assume it's Massively Multiplayer Online Children's Card Games. Because, you know, that was the gist of most of the gags, most of the titles. And this is actually 3 episodes of the original Duel Monsters anime squashed into one. And one thing I do regret more than almost anything about this whole series is that I would do that. I would take episodes that had a lot of potential and sort of cram them all together so I could get through them quickly. And I thought that that was going to lead to, honestly, a funnier show. That the fact that I was getting through it so quickly, and, you know, there are aspects of it that I do think work. But I think in this episode's case in particular, this specific one, I believe it is actually detrimental because my Valentine is randomly there. We don't really get into it. She just sort of appears with one line. And it, you know, it is kind of funny because in the episode it's like, oh my, you're here, okay, which is how it works. But there's a bunch of stuff like she's dueling in an arena as like a butterfly themed like warrior, and it's like, holy shit, that's awesome. Like, why didn't we get to explore that in the abridged version? But you know, the other thing that I will mention briefly here at the top, and we can, you know, if we have to get into it as we go, Princess Mokuba, you know, there's the whole thing where Mokuba, and it's not even called Mokuba in the dub. I think she's called something else, Adina or something, but it is Mokuba dressed like a girl. And my approach to it, and if I'm going to acknowledge this, I'm going to acknowledge what the reason for it was. I'd watched a lot of modern English humor, a lot of modern British TV shows, and unfortunately there's a lot of just inherent transphobia and all that. And so my thought was, well, this is a male presenting character presenting as a woman, so I should make a joke about that. And that's the only kind of joke I know. So when I talk about it being stemming from my ignorance, it's really just a case of I didn't know fucking what else to do. And I could have done so much else. And I think that's true of a lot of the jokes, even when they're not, you know, skirting the lines of, you know, gender issues. But let's watch it. I'm going to see how I feel about it. Mostly I'm curious as to how the rest of it plays out, because I don't remember this one very well. It introduces the Big Five, who are significant characters, and I don't think I was thinking about them as characters at all. I think I just was like, oh, these are the guys that are the antagonists for this bit. Let's rush through it, get through it, don't have to think about it. They'll come back eventually, but then I'll worry about it when that happens. That's 2 seasons away, you know? So that's probably going to be a bigger issue here overall. Let's watch the episode. I'm going to turn the volume down a bit so you can hear me over it. It's a Battlestar Galactica reference. Can you guess what TV shows I was watching at this time? Obviously Battlestar Galactica. If you've not seen it, check it out. It's actually a really good reimagining of an old sci-fi series. And I don't think I've been as into a TV show since Battlestar Galactica, frankly. That's really funny that I used the footage of the Karibos multiplying for the line, there are many copies. If you've never seen Battlestar Galactica, that whole opening is how every episode opens. The other thing about Battlestar Galactica is in the beginning of each episode, they show you a big montage of spoilers for the episode. And I hate it when TV shows do that. I always close my eyes. I'm like, don't show me. Kamen Rider does it a lot. And I close my eyes.
I can't believe the 5 of you tried to take over my company.
And don't forget how they kidnapped
Oh, you're so loud. I'm turning you down. Sorry.
me.
Yeah, that too.
Mr. Kaiba, please let us explain.
My generic old man voice will explain everything.
We were just pretending to work for Pegasus.
I instantly forgive you, but I'm still...
He does instantly forgive them. In the original dub, he's just like, you guys have a lot to answer for. And the big 5 are like, but technology, we made this thing. And Kaiba's like, okay. What? And Mokuba sat there being like,
I actually continue to resent you guys.
I'm pretty sore about that whole trying to kill me thing.
By the way, we finished work.
I'm attempting a Johnson voice. Johnson, one of the characters that had a very unique personality even back then. No, it's me, Johnson.
Work on your new virtual card game system.
Look at that fucking long table, though. That table's... How do they get out of there? It looks like the table just goes all the way to the other side of the room. Are they trapped? Are they... I guess they can climb over it. But they're old.
Feel free to test it out, if you dare.
Okay, thanks.
Wait, Seto.
Holy shit, I forgot how much Kaiba said K thanks back then. That was a really big catchphrase for him. I gotta bring it back.
It's clearly a trap. Why are you being so gullible and out of character? Why are you yelling directly into the microphone, little Karibo of 2007? Stop it. Back the fuck off. That's my advice as a director.
Initiate logon sequence.
We're sorry. The server you're attempting to join is currently experiencing loading issues. Please stand by until we correct this problem.
I get it, because logging onto the internet. Yeah, I mean, I guess it was easy to make jokes about the internet back then because... honestly, I think because YouTube was relatively new, it just sort of felt like, hey, this is an area of comedy that we all identify with because we're all online. And so this is aimed at specifically an online audience. The K in K thanks stands for Kaiba. Nice one.
Once I finish playing this childish video game, I'll arrest those guys for trying to murder me.
You know, I would have used a Terminator reference there if I'd thought better. If I'd had the idea, Kaiba arriving in a big orb of light and sort of kneeling down would have totally been a da-da-da-da-da, ba-na-ba, Kaiba Corp.
Wake up, Seto. It's time for my story. Hello?
Oh.
Your brother can't hear you anymore.
His story.
We've made him addicted to online gaming.
You bastards.
Like he wasn't already. That's Seto Kaiba you're talking about.
Attention, duelists! My hair will huff, and my hair will puff, and my hair will blow your house in. Huh?
He's escaped.
He must have crawled through the ventilation shaft.
He's
Hey,
escaped.
Mom, you'll never guess what just happened.
Gotta tell my mom about this.
Oh, hi, Dad. Can you put Mom on the line? What do you mean she's asleep? Wake her up then!
What is happening there? Just anything. The implication of the hair guy having an extended family is just funny. Yeah, and you're imagining them with the same hair and the same voice. Attention, son! Fly at higher game. He's kind of doing a Kamen Rider style pose there with his fist, I'm just saying.
Okay, Gramps, hand over all your money and Tristan won't have to break your kneecaps.
Whoever you are, please don't hurt me.
Tristan is on board, though. Like, he's gonna break Grandpa's kneecaps. He's brought a suitcase with presumably a wrench inside.
I'm wet in more ways than one.
Okay, because he's pissed himself, I guess? What is that?
Your brother's been kidnapped?
Yes, that is exactly what I just finished telling you. I didn't know who else to turn to, so I came here.
Forget about it. There's no way we're helping your brother.
I'm so close to the microphone for this episode. I just want to apologize for that aspect of things.
He smells like wee-wee.
Okay, the other piss joke didn't land, but Joey saying wee-wee is funny. I'm basically a teenage boy, but I'm still saying wee-wee.
But he's been trapped inside a video game world where monsters are—
Did you just say video game?
Yes, but it's very dangerous.
Come on, let's go play the video game. Anything to take a break from these crappy card games. By—
What the fuck? Why would Yugi say that? I mean, I guess ultimately the joke there is that Yugi's tired after the tournament and he just doesn't want to go back to doing that immediately. But little does he know, he can't escape those card games.
Gramps, you'd better have that money when we get back.
I'm going to die of pneumonia. Hooray!
You have an umbrella. Why would you?
Yugi, before you go, there's something I need to tell you. Don't worry, Taya. I know all about it. Really? Yeah. You're in love with me, right? Actually, I'm in love with your sexy alter ego. Oh. Well, this is kind of awkward.
Bye, darling.
Oh, wait, what?
Ixnay on the Arling Day.
Whoa, I don't remember that ever being a thing. Yeah, no, it's very inconsistent whether Taya likes Yugi or Yami, and whether Yugi cares about Taya or not, if he loves her. As I said in a previous stream, I chalk that all up to hormones being completely out of whack, and them not knowing what they feel at any given time. Hey, we have a solid JJ in the chat. I want to give a shout out. I don't know if I can. But big shout out verbally to Solid JJ, allowing me to be in their most recent video, which had Kaiba going to hell. It was a lot of fun. I don't know if you've seen it. Go check it out on YouTube. It's great to see you in the chat. Thank you for stopping by, sir. We're watching this episode. But yeah, no, it's funny. Like, whenever I'm watching these old episodes, I'm like, I get the joke. But there's a better way of doing it, and I feel like that joke with Yugi being like, I already know, could have been done better, just because, like, first of all, why is Taya confessing in this moment? I feel like there's a better way it could have come up. Anyway, that's my one critique.
This virtual world Kaiba created is super special awesome. It's like walking into an episode of Reboot.
Me?
That was no joke behind that. It just is like Reboot. Yeah, you're right. It is. And then we've got the first of many Navi sound effects. I was very excited whenever I got to use sound effects back in the day because it was such a rarity, and especially when it was a sound effect that was readily available. Because sometimes, I'm not going to lie, getting sound effects for the more recent episodes can be a task. Because sometimes it's a sound effect that I know in my head that I can't find anywhere. But, you know, finding Navi voice effects, very easy.
Hey, listen! Hey, listen!
Man, this fairy is really annoying. Let's kill it.
I'm
Get
happy
back
about
here,
that.
you. I'm gonna rip your wings off with a pair of tweezers. Damn it, got away.
Look, it's Agrabah. Let's go find the genie, voiced by Robin Williams, and occasionally by
Dan
Dan
Castellaneta.
Castellaneta.
I was about to say, hey, he's occasionally voiced by Dan Castellaneta. Let's acknowledge that. And I did. Good job, Martin of 2007. We can't forget that.
He'll save my brother.
Return of Jafar was one of my most watched VHSs as a kid. So I never really clocked that there was a different genie, but I knew something was up.
What the hell are you doing here, Mai?
I've been beta testing this game for Kaiba Corp.
I've been beta testing for a bunch of beta cocks.
That's just about the least likely story I've ever heard.
It is unlikely. I guess I didn't remember that joke at all, and I didn't remember that that was the actual explanation that they went with. Is that the explanation in the Japanese? They got My Valentine to beta test it. I guess she's a known competitor, so she would play games, but that's weird, right? Yeah, doesn't she live in America? What are they doing? I guess she's playing on an American server?
Thinking, what if we're all part of some enormous virtual world? What if we exist in a fictional universe created by some Japanese guy who likes card games? Tristan, that is without a doubt the dumbest thing you've ever said.
So then I said, attention, duelists. Man, you should have been there.
Uh-oh.
Can you hear me very far away from the microphone to imply that they are far away from the microphone? What a great technique I had.
Said, attention, duelists. Man, you should have been there.
Uh-oh. We're in trouble. Something's come along and it's burst our bubble.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Princess Adina.
Oh,
This
boy.
is just wrong.
I've never
Why?
been more traumatized in my entire life.
Jesus.
Why would my brother create something so twisted?
That is the real question, is because the implication of the dub is that Kaiba did this sort of as a way of paying homage to Mokuba. And, you know, that's not an awful decision. It's just a little confusing for that character. Why would he do that? You know? Everything else, of course, why would it be traumatizing for Mokuba to see this? It would just make him question things, which is fine.
Now do you see why we hate him so much?
What the... Wow, okay.
Welcome to the land of Simlao. Every year my people are beset by a terrible evil. A mythic dragon descends from on high to devour the...
Question.
Yes?
Just what the hell are you anyway?
Oh.
Are you a boy or a girl? Maybe it's a she-male. You know, like Bakura.
Whatever it is, it's going to haunt my dreams for the rest of my life.
All right.
Excuse me, brave heroes. I'm trying to tell you about the suffering of my people.
Now, I will argue that the joke that they are ignoring everything she's saying is funny. I don't know about the things that they're saying. But, you know, obviously, like I said, I was channeling a lot of very, very offensive and poorly thought out comedy that I'd been watching. None of these characters should be saying these things, in my opinion. I don't think that that's appropriate. And I certainly wouldn't have written any of this dialogue today. Back then, I was completely out of my element and very ignorant, so I'm not going to apologize just because I've already apologized so many fucking times for stuff like this. But I do want to acknowledge it's just not very good, my opinion.
I think it's pretty obvious why your people are suffering. Their ruler is a transvestite.
The only way to defeat the mythic dragon is by resurrecting the ancient flying machine, which...
Why weren't you censored anyway? I mean, what? Guns are bad,
going
but cross-dressing
even further.
princesses are A-okay?
What the hell is going on? Why haven't I had any screen time?
Anyway, from that to Kaiba being quasi-crucified. That's fine.
You've been kidnapped, Seto Kaiba.
I love the Witty Phantom. The Witty Phantom, one of my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh characters that is only there for like a moment. Like, just great design, a great voice because it's basically Darren Dunstan doing something very funny with Pegasus, but even more so here, in my opinion. But yes, I think that him teasing Kaiba in the original dub is very entertaining.
That's already been established. Just what the hell is the point of this scene?
It gives the fangirls a chance to see you in chains.
What is that? It gives the fangirls. I'm doing my best to do a camp voice that isn't Pegasus.
Speaking of fan service, check me out. I can't believe Taya likes Yami more than me.
Yami. I'm so glad I learned to not say Yami so much. It almost felt like that was my version of his name back then. But it is an inaccurate way of saying Yami. Having said that, I want to acknowledge that Yugi looks really cool and cute in his armor.
Forget about her, kiddo. You deserve a real woman.
I don't know why I had so many jokes about my being interested in Yugi back then. And there's a bunch of them I've noticed. I don't know, maybe I was kind of shipping it. Maybe I was just expressing the fact that my Valentine is an attractive woman, and so therefore she would be attracted to the protagonist. Either way, that seems to be a thing.
Like me.
Mrs. Valentine, are you trying to seduce me?
You know what the difference is between you and me?
I make this look good.
It's a whole army of duel monsters.
They got Princess Adina.
Thank God for that. She was really freaking me out.
That's your problem, Joey Wheeler.
Oh no, they kidnapped Mokuba.
Why the heck was Mokuba dressed like you?
Well...
Let's trade outfits. I've always wanted to look pretty.
There you go. Hey, that's nice. That's kind of nice, right? Hey, Mokuba wants to explore things, and it's not making fun. I mean, it's kind of making fun of him, but it's not treated like he's being dumb. It just means that that's why they switched places. It's for a much different reason from the original.
Looks like we'll have to resurrect the ancient flying machine.
I activate the Ocarina of Time.
Ocarina? It's another Zelda reference. Have you not had enough of those in this episode yet?
That made no sense whatsoever.
Hooray!
Nipples.
I remember really wanting to keep that moment because it is a brilliant moment in the dub where Mai says, like, hooray, basically, and Joey's like, get off me! Because why would you be upset by Mai grabbing you like that? I mean, I get, not everybody wants that kind of physical contact immediately, but...
Whatsoever.
Hooray!
Nipples! Instead of, get off me, it's nipples! Which is a nice exclamation of surprise in any situation, really.
I brought you a little present, Kaiba.
Seto!
Mokuba, why the hell were you dressed like a girl?
Oh, like you've never tried it.
Hey, you know what? That's better. But that is weird that Kaiba says, why are you dressed like a girl? Because he's the one that designed the game? Although I guess he doesn't understand why Mokuba would even be there. Anyway. It's a better joke than what I was doing before.
Ha! Sarge Stalker, free my brother!
Time for a trip to the recycle bin, Phantom. And then once you're in the recycle bin, I'm going to right-click on it and select empty recycle bin, because otherwise you would just be taking up unnecessary space.
That's really funny to me. I remember really liking that when I wrote it. I just overly explaining how the recycle bin works.
In other words, I'm going to kill you. Come forth, Blue Eyes.
No, this was so avoidable.
I will say, some of the best jokes, especially from the early episodes, were just, this is the dialogue from the actual show, but then we do something slightly different. And that recycle bin joke is obviously lifted directly from what Kaiba actually says in the English dub. He's like, time to send you to the recycle bin, witty phantom. But of course, in the abridged version, Kaiba has to explain how the recycle bin works.
If anybody asks, I rescued you.
Yes, big brother.
We can't let those brats escape
It's
the
Mario
virtual
now
world in one
instead, the
piece.
legend
That's
is Zelda.
right. So let's all stand up dramatically at the same time. Excellent.
You'll notice the footage comes to a really slow crawl there at the end. And of course, it's because I wrote myself into a corner a little bit with the joke. Watch the footage as the scene initially plays out, and then as it gets toward the end when they're like, let's stand up dramatically, I slowed it way the fuck down because in the script, one of them has to say, okay, good. And I had no concept of how to edit all of this to make it look like they were still moving at the same speed or freezing.
Let those brats escape the virtual
Normal
world
speed,
in one piece.
slowing
That's
down,
right. So let's all stand up dramatically at the same time.
slowing way the fuck down.
Excellent.
Hey,
You see that? I don't know if you could tell, but it started slowing down pretty significantly right at the end there.
Kaiba, we're here to rescue you.
That won't be necessary. I'm kind of free already.
Then what the heck was the point of the princess and the flying machine and all that other crap we did?
Adventure is fun, Joey.
Well done, all of you. You've
I remember being so stumped with this big five-headed dragon stuff. I really did not know how to do it. I think I remember them, like, they loot its corpse and get, like, a rusty dagger or something. I was playing EverQuest at the time, and I think I was just making a generic MMO joke. But let's see how this scene plays out. I remember it being not good.
reached the last stage. Now get ready to face the final boss. They're hacking into the computer system. Once we destroy
I have to describe what's happening. It's not funny.
you people will soon jump to the conclusion that video games are dangerous, and then all video games will be banned.
Oh, there was a lot of conversation back in the day, and there still is to an extent. But certainly back then, there was a lot of stuff about video games causing violence. I'm not saying that that's unique to that time, but it was a topic of conversation that was on a lot of gamers' minds, and so I think I threw this in there being like, stick it to the man, in my shitty little abridged video.
Listen, pal.
Yeah, Jack Thompson, Marcus McLean is name-dropping Jack Thompson. He was, like, certainly at the forefront of my mind when I was writing that joke, yeah.
You can try to take over my company. You can kidnap my little brother.
It's a weird image of Kaiba. He looks so nerdy here, and so smug.
You can even try to kill me. But when you f*** around with video games,
Wow.
you've gone too far.
See?
It's time to slay the dragon.
That, it's time to slay the dragon, line, I believe, is from a commercial for the new EverQuest game that they were releasing on consoles. I don't remember... Let me look it up. It's time to slay the dragon. Does anyone remember this? Yeah, EverQuest Online Adventures was the name of the game. And then I believe maybe there's a song that plays here. Oh, yeah. Dragon Ball Z, cha, dragon, rock the dragon, come, get me. That's all I could do was play music. No dialogue. Just no! Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Z. And they get experience in a rusty dagger. That was like 2 straight minutes, almost. Well, not 2 straight minutes, but like a full minute of maybe one joke. It's a great song. But it was really like a Hail Mary on my part. I was like, the dragons.
This loot system sucks.
Welcome back, brave heroes. You have saved our people.
Listen.
Let's get out of here. That fairy's starting to piss me off.
That game was
Not fairy.
more disappointing than Fable.
Listen.
What? I like Fable. Why did he... Now I know how everybody feels watching my videos and I insult something they like. I like Fable. Shut up, Joey. That was a good game. I liked it.
I look fat. Little busy here. Yugi, you're okay.
That's right, Jezebel. I mean, Taya.
Now that we're out of the video game, you guys can't do a thing to me.
Actually, we can still beat the crap out of you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Hold still, you little
It just
punk.
ends with them beating the shit out of
my
Mokuba.
ribs. Ow, my other ribs.
Tristan, why are you punching him?
I don't know.
Tristan is what the... I was so down on Princess Adina. Just want to say, I have to acknowledge, I was really mean to Princess Adina. I'm sorry, Princess. Your Majesty, forgive me. Tristan was still antsy to beat somebody up from the beginning because he was promised he was going to get to break Grandpa's kneecaps. So he weighed in on that fight at the end there.
So don't stop,
Get it,
until you chat ahead and watch
the way I navigate. Feel good. I had that end bumper saved. I had conceived of that end bumper for like, I want to say months. And I'd edited it together because I was like, I'm going to find an episode where I'm struggling to think of what to do at the end. And I'm going to use this to make sure that I have a good idea. And so I don't know why I saved it for this episode, but I think it needed a bit of extra oomph and I just couldn't think of anything there. So I saved that and then I used it for this moment.
Attention, Mother! I've just been told I'm not gonna be in any more episodes after this one.
That's not technically true, I believe. He comes back at least once.
My hair is crying. I don't have anywhere else to go. Could I move in with you?
Oh. Well, here's hoping he's okay. I'm sure he recovered fine. I'm sure he found work elsewhere. All right. There's Duke Devlin. See, circles. I told you guys. In previous streams, I was very good at working with circles. There's a lot of edits, a lot of visual edits that are just me drawing circles. And this is one of them. Duke Busters. Bustin' makes me feel good. All right. I'm going to read some super chats. But that episode, honestly, can I be honest? That there is, several transphobic jokes there. I still believe, and you'll have to correct me if I say correct me if I'm wrong. This is kind of my perspective. I still believe that those jokes comprise maybe 20 seconds of the video. Most of the video's fine. I think the video is still enjoyable. I still enjoyed that. There's, the humor that pops up here and there that's just completely out of line and just a little, I say a little, it's way too harsh. It's coming from a place of just confusion and ignorance. So in my opinion, it doesn't really work. The only way that you're going to enjoy those scenes is if you agree with what they're saying, and that's not the point of the joke anyway. But ultimately, I still think that that episode is very enjoyable overall. There's some good stuff in there. All right, let me read some of these super chats before I forget, because I am likely to, and I don't want to get hung up on those too long. Itamar Strauss, thank you for the super chat. Does Frieza resent Tristan for once being a robot monkey? Well, I'm conflicted about that because You know me and monkeys, we don't get along. Filthy monkeys? Even worse. Now, a robot monkey isn't technically a monkey, it's a robot. And I myself have had robot parts, briefly, when I came back to Earth to take on that filthy monkey, so-called Super Saiyan Goku. But, so I kind of identify with him. I've had a similar experience. So no, I don't resent him. I think I identify with him, if anything. Mike Davis, thank you for the super chat. These streams have been a wonderful way to re-experience so much joy and happy memories from your show. Thank you, from your shows. Thank you, and cheers to another 20 years. Here's to that, Mike Davis. Oh, happy 50th birthday, Chad the Historian. Thank you for spending it in the stream. Chemo B, thank you for the super chat. On the long story short, why were all mine slaves called Steve? Well, I'm going to explain it as quickly as I can because I don't want to spend too long on these super chats. I randomly decided that one rare hunter, the one that duels Joey and takes his red eyes, I randomly decided he needs a name. It has to be Steve. And then I was like, well, what are the other guys called that are standing next to him? They don't have names either. And then I laughed and I was like, what if they were also called Steve? Because it doesn't matter. They could be named anything. So then I decided after the fact, after I'd named them, just because it made me chuckle, I decided, oh, well, there has to be a reason for it. So the Millennium Rod only works on Steves. Morgil, what's the difference between chat and super chat? Chat is just you posting whatever in the chat and it doesn't get highlighted. Super chat is people have given money to have their comments highlighted. So because they've given money to have them highlighted, I just want to make sure that I acknowledge them and read what they say. So you have to forgive me if I don't acknowledge what you've said in the chat that isn't a super chat. It's just if I were to acknowledge everything people said in the chat across the way, across the board, we'd be here all day. And I just don't have that in me. Parzafal, thank you for the super chat. Don't know why, but your Yu-Gi-Oh! The Ebonics series video showed up in YouTube recommendations today. I somehow forgot the comic gift that was Blue Peeps Whitey Dragon. Thank you for the laughs. Yes, that was a meme that was going around at the time. A lot of people were applying the Ebonics translator to random scripts, and so I did one very impromptu. And it seemed popular. You know, there are aspects of it I certainly regret, but, you know, people have a fondness for the gibberish of Blue Peeps Whitey Dragon. And that, to me, is why it's funny, because it sounds like nonsense. Gez Who, thank you for the super chat. Your Marek plus Yami aided me a lot on my gender journey. Oh, well, I'm really glad to hear it. Honestly, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Characters have aided me on my gender journey. And everyone's got their own gender journey, wherever that ends up taking them. Even people that don't realize that they're on a journey like that. But no, certainly, Marek has been very helpful to me psychologically, which is weird because he's one of the more psychologically fucked up Yu-Gi-Oh! Characters. I'm very grateful for these guys. I'm very grateful for all these boys. Devasu95, thank you for the super chat. It's absolutely amazing to share your passion over such a long time. My husband, Daniel, has been following you for over 12 years. He's now in his 30s and you're still a huge part of his life. Thank you. Congrats from Germany. Oh, well, I do appreciate that. You're very kind. I hope that Daniel's doing all right. Thanks for watching for so long there. And sending my love to Germany. Hope you guys are well. Corbett Abrahamson, thank you for the super chat. Action Branwen Martin, wish to meet you one day. I'm not sure what Action Branwen is. You'll have to forgive me. But I hope to meet you one day too. Fingers crossed that it can happen at some point. Papa Podo, thank you for the super chat. Frieza sees clips of Joey beating up Robot Monkey Tristan. Joseph, we are best friends now. Me? I hate that. I decided I don't like that monkey. Ant Demo, thank you for the super chat. Attention.
Attention, duelists. My hair saw Mokuba venting. This is sus behavior. I'm calling a meeting. My hair is calling a meeting.
Will Peters, thank you for the super chat. So if anything happens to you where you can't work on the series anymore, could we consider the Yu-Gi-Oh videos that you did for Solid JJ to be a good substitute for your series finale? If something happens to me, then yeah, by all means, you can consider that to be the finale. But no, I personally have I have a very, very, very specific idea for how Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged and Dark Side of Dimensions Abridged will end. So until I get to it, yeah, if you want, consider that to be the actual finale. But I have a very specific idea. Let me do it. Let me do it. Austin, thank you for the super chat. Now I want to hear You're Only Second Rate, sung by Kaiba to Joey. Ramatabatasma, Granny's gonna grab ya. Papa Podo, thank you for the super chat. Easily the worst episode of the entire series. It has issues, don't get me wrong. I definitely see where you're coming from. And if that's how you feel, I won't argue with you. But I think there are worse episodes just based on the fact that there are episodes where I think that there's nothing that funny in them whatsoever. And I think being generally unfunny, to me, you'll have to forgive me if you disagree, is worse than an episode that has some problematic humor, but is otherwise a funny episode. I personally think that that's the case. Spring Day Autumn Moon, thank you for the super chat. I'm one of the most unforgiving trans girls I've ever met, and you're one of the few cis people who I think have legitimately improved since then. Well, please know that I don't take that for granted. Please know that I certainly appreciate that sentiment, and I recognize that I'm one of the people that's been given an opportunity to understand and to learn and to better myself and come to this place of my own accord where I look back on that attitude that I have and I feel shame. I feel like I am very different to who that person used to be. I have a lot of trans people in my life, gender non-conforming people in my life that are very close to me and I love them deeply. And I didn't have that before. Can I be honest with you? And you'll have to forgive me for going on a small tangent here. I simply didn't speak to people who would have told me otherwise about gender issues. I didn't know people that would have been able to help me understand things. And once I actually started talking to trans folks, once I actually started speaking to people that I'd never spoken to before or considered giving well, I mean, here's the thing. I've talked about it before. I was a recluse when I started this series. So getting to talk to people, having made a lot of these videos, getting to sort of broaden my horizons, it allowed me to understand things better. And I'm grateful for every trans person that has ever spoken to me about it, or even just spoken to me, frankly. But yeah, gender non-conforming people, trans people, queer people, people who don't identify with the sexuality or the gender that they were born with. I simply didn't have a concept of them until a lot of conversations happened since this stuff. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to learn and meet people who are so wonderful, you know? And so understanding of an idiot like me. B-Man oh, sorry, I missed one. Oh, no, I didn't. B-Man the Champ, thank you for the super chat. Hey, Martin, just wanted to say thanks for all you've done. I miss Mark Remark, and I use some of your old lines when watching WWE, like, no, don't do that. Also, I think you're the best Frieza. Oh, no disrespect to Chris Ayres. Well, you're very kind. I will absolutely take that as a huge compliment. Chris Ayres, one of the kindest people I've ever met, one of the most talented voice actors, and, in my opinion, an incredible Frieza. The fact that I'm even considered in the same company as him, like the fact that people think about me when thinking about him, is the greatest compliment. I'm very humbled by it, and I just want to say, rest in peace, Chris Ayres, because hugely influential as an actor, but also hugely missed as a person. I don't ever want to forget the kindness he showed. VGE, thank you for the super chat. I just want you to know I can't hear Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 0 OP without hearing Corn on my mouth, Mo, Soup Machine, Naruto, Can't Hang, Though the Keen, as well as your Evangelion changed lyrics. Well, I'm glad I've stuck some earworms in you. That sounds weird. QMTO, thank you. Quimto, thank you for the super chat. Occasionally you edit characters into scenes like Bakura asking to be in this episode and getting shot down. Oh, in this one, really? Do you ever want to bring back beloved characters like Hair Guy whose appearances ran out? Yes, I do often consider doing that. In fact, I frankly considered doing it with Bandit Keith more than anybody, because he was far and away the breakout character that everybody was quoting. But I think I wisely, well, mostly because I didn't have the editing skills, but wisely I changed my mind and decided that he had run his course. If he got brought back a bunch, he would probably be considered tiresome. The funny thing is, and I'm sorry, I know that I need to get back to the videos. The funny thing is, one of the most quoted and referenced Bandit Keith jokes is not from any of his actual appearances in the narrative. Spilling the milk, do I do any voice acting outside of YGO Abridged? It depends, really. If somebody comes to me with a role, yeah, but I don't audition for anything anymore. I'm not actively seeking out professional voiceover work. But no, I remember the most referenced Bandit Keith meme that pops up on so many websites and social medias, you know, especially around like July 4th, is the one where Bandit Keith is like, every country in the world belongs to America. And they're like, but we're in Japan. But it's like, it's a 4-panel thing. But that is from like season 2 or season 3, where bloody, I edited that clip in just to be like, hey, remember Bandit Keith? But that's the one everybody fucking references. It's not even like from his original appearances. Jen Kaiba, thank you for the super chat. How did you find the sound effects that you didn't make yourself? I usually just search for sound effects. Often have to pay for them. There's lots of sound effects libraries out there. Sometimes I'll find a YouTube video that I know that I've seen that has sound effects in it that I remember and that I'm referencing, and I'm like, let me download the audio from that video and I'll I'll grab that one little bit. But mostly I'm just going to sound effects libraries. Russell Kurashige, thank you for the super chat. I had to win. I'm what's known as a gamer. Ryo Bakura. Is that referencing something? All right. Really quickly going to read a bunch of these more super chats because a bunch came up after I started talking about things. And then we're going to jump into the Shine On You Crazy Devlin episode. I do apologize for how much I talk as opposed to watch the videos. JPew 2007, thank you for the super chat. For the longest time, I thought Tristan's hair was actually a Garrison cover. That's what my partner Marin thought as well. My partner, my spouse, was like, oh, he's hot. He's got a cool hat. Turns out that's his hair. Fernando Adams II, thank you for the super chat. One of 3 super chats because I ramble and I have a lot to thank you for. As you can tell from my username, I love Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't know who Fernando Adams is. It's been my favorite franchise since I was 9, 32 now, and you only make it better. Oh, I'm happy to be part of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Vibe for you. I feel like a noob. I feel like a LARPer because I don't know who Fernando Adams is. Is that a Yu-Gi-Oh? Spilling the milk, I'm glad. I'm glad that you've been enjoying the streams. Thank you for stopping by. Sir Straw Hat, thank you for the super chat. When you mentioned Celebrity Steves in that one episode, you missed out on the most nostalgic one, Steve from Blue's Clues. Can I level with you? I never watched Blue's Clues. So that's why. I was too old. I have no nostalgia for it. Steve could be anybody. Fernando Adams, thank you for the 2nd super chat. I discovered you 14 years ago during my depressing first year of college. I was in a dark place and you helped me immensely. The education system is indeed a dark place to find yourself in, and it often makes you feel alone. And I'm grateful because, I'm grateful to have helped you even slightly because I certainly felt alone in my experience in school. And I'm glad that I could help somebody else not feel that so much. Prunky, thank you for the super chat. Have to ask, how sad were you when you lost Duke's theme music? Because I was devastated. To this date, I even hear it when I watch the actual show. I'm going to level with you again. I'm going to tell you guys something cheeky and sneaky, which I think I've talked about elsewhere, but probably not on the actual YouTube channel. Duke's theme music being removed was my decision. It wasn't actually something that YouTube forced upon me. I chose to do that because I realized it could be a problem, and I want to avoid dealing with that as these episodes go on. And I think I've written Duke's last appearance in the show. In fact, yes, I with episode 89, that's going to be Duke's last time having dialogue in the show, as far as I'm aware. I don't think he's there for the final duel, is he? So once he's got, and I actually do make references to the theme music for his final appearance. But no, it's not. It is because I'm concerned about copyright, but there was never any YouTube thing that said, you can't upload this. I just am very concerned about entire chunks of his dialogue being muted. He is at the final duel? Hang on. Duke Devlin, final... in fact, let me look this up. Yu-Gi-Oh! Ceremonial Duel. I'm going to see. Well, in the manga, he's there. He might not be there in the anime. Does anyone know? Have I ever gotten copyright issues with this song? I've gotten copyright issues with other songs. Sorry, I do apologize. I was briefly trying to see if I could find footage. Actually, I don't know if this is from the manga. I think Duke might actually be there. Oh, shit. He's there? Okay. Well, then I guess I've made a joke about him going away, but he can come back and be like, actually, I'm back. I guess he's going to come back with different theme music. All right, let me read some of these more. Mystic Minds Analysis, Tav. Sorry, I'm going to try and read your... Tavern. Of course it's Tavern. Mystic Minds Analysis Tavern. Thank you for the super chat. As a non-binary person, some of the jokes are transphobic, but others have aged surprisingly well. Yes, Yami would look damn good in a tutu. Yeah, no, I've never considered the tutu line to be offensive in any way, because it's just him being confident. And that's very funny whenever he's confident about that. Whenever Yami Yugi is confident about something that would make other people embarrassed, that's fun. Fernando Adams, thank you for the third super chat. 2 years ago, I met Bob West, the OG voice of Barney the Dinosaur. Thanks to you, I got to share my favorite one-off joke from episode 2 as he signed my two-headed King Rex card. Wow, I bet you're the only person that's done that. That's amazing. Mia Pickle, thank you for the super chat. Why did you stop showing up on camera in the GX videos? The visual jokes and reactions were some of my favorite parts. Can I be honest? It's because I don't like the way I look. But I like the idea of bringing that back. So the fact that you've said that, maybe I'll try and bring it back. I'll try and be more confident, like Yami does. Maybe I'll put a tutu on. Clamor Cho, thank you for the super chat. One time I was buying clothes with my mother and told the store owner that a shirt made me look like a bondage slave. Didn't know what that is, thought it meant cool. Store guy couldn't breathe. Greetings from Bulgaria. Thank you for sharing. Well, I bet you did look cool. Saint Sentry, thank you for the super chat. I've always wanted to hear Yami Yugi say, trans rights. There you go. Trans rights, baby. You're welcome. Corbett, thank you for the super chat. Action Branwen is just the name I choose. We win. Oh, hell yeah. We do win. And Ots486, thank you for the super chat. Hey, LK, as a trans woman, personally, my philosophy with regards to problematic humor is that it's fine so long as that it's actually funny. I mean, different strokes for different folks, you know. I'm not gonna tell anybody they can't enjoy those jokes, and I don't shame anybody for enjoying those jokes. I think personally that if you get something out of it, then that's valid. I've talked about it briefly in a previous stream, but I recognize that there are a lot of gender non-conforming people, a lot of trans people, a lot of queer people generally that have to watch problematic media in order to find any representation to begin with. So if that's how you found it, if that's something that helped you, if my silly jokes about Mokuba/Edina were helpful to you, then I think that's a great thing. And I would never take that from you. And if you just thought that the jokes were funny and worth a chuckle, yeah, that's yours, by all means. Really, really quickly, Ryuzaki Taiyo, thank you for the super chat. My favorite Kamen Rider is Wizard. The opening song is awesome. Magic, the magic, the magic, the showtime. Bam, bam, bam. Solar Regis, thank you for the super chat. I hate when LK interacts with chat instead of playing the videos. Said everyone that doesn't understand that playlists exist. Yes, but when you're watching a big long stream like this, you don't want to have to click around. I understand. I vibe with where they're coming from. Russell, thank you for the super chat. It was an actual line from Duel Links from his version of Dark Side of Dimensions. From his version 4 Dark Side of Dimensions. Oh, Rio Bakura says that. That's cray-cray. Brady Wells, did you know that frogs can jump higher than the Eiffel Tower? That's because the Eiffel Tower can't jump. And Sir Abrolon, thank you for the super chat. Did you know there was a dedicated app that quoted the hair guy and Bandit Keith? I still have it on my iPod Touch. It doesn't surprise me that it's on an iPod. I did not know that. And really quickly, because somebody's mentioned it, LK from Not Daniel 2005. LK, do you have any thoughts on Kamen Rider Maizu so far? Yes, it looks fun as hell. I am all in on Kamen Rider Maizu. All right, let's watch episode 22 of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. I swear I'm going to watch at least 4 episodes today. Shine On You Crazy Devlin, which is obviously a reference to the Pink Floyd song Shine On You Crazy Diamond. And I think that this was around the point in time when I realized if I had to come up with a title for an episode, I could just take an established title of something else and squeeze a Yu-Gi-Oh! Word in there. For example, massively multiplayer online trading card games is a reference to massively multiplayer online role-playing games. And this is just Shine On You Crazy Diamond with a Devlin instead. And why is it called Shine On You Crazy Devlin? Because there's a Pink Floyd quote very early on in the video. Here we go. Let's get a big long narration about Duke Devlin and how he makes you feel.
Warning, this episode contains copious amounts of Duke Devlin.
Copious.
Women with heart conditions are advised not to look directly at Duke Devlin.
So anybody with heart conditions, even men with heart conditions, women, men, non-binary people, various folks, if you have heart conditions, maybe back away from the stream.
This also applies to women without heart conditions. He's very pretty. See how pretty he is? He's very pretty. I'd like to run my fingers through his hair.
I'm trying to understand why I did this intro clip, because it's very specific to this episode. I think I was trying to introduce the concept that Duke Devlin was an attractive man so that you understood. For those of you who didn't clock that he's attractive, I needed you to understand that that was going to be the deal here. There's a new character, he's a sexy boy, and there's going to be jokes about it.
And I'm just a voice. Anyway, without further ado, enjoy your crappy anime cartoon.
There's people in the chat being like, is that a JoJo's reference? I can assure you I never made any JoJo's references as far as I'm aware. I might have made them without being aware.
I'm going to school now, Gramps. If this porch isn't clean by the time I get back, I'll tell my parents you've been abusing me.
Hey, Yugi.
Slut. I mean, Taya.
What's wrong with your grandpa? Is he dying? Tell me he's dying.
You know, Taya, we could kill him right now and nobody would have to know about it.
Really?
Hello,
I was like, why is Yugi suggesting murdering him? And then I realized, oh, it's because there's going to be a bit here where Grandpa pops up and surprises them. And they're like, oh, we better shut up about that.
Down here now, and I'm very angry for reasons I'm about to explain. Ta-da! That new game shop is stealing all my customers.
You have customers?
Wow, a super special awesome new game shop. I believe that there is a slight possibility that I may be interested in checking it out.
Do it and you die!
If you don't
Eat your meat, you can't have any pudding. There's the Pink Floyd reference that we mentioned, which is why the episode is called what it's called.
How come we never do any schoolwork anyway? It makes you wonder why we even bother coming here.
Hey, did you guys hear about that new student?
No, the reason you keep coming to school is because otherwise you would look stupid wearing your school uniform every single hour of every single day, Yugi. You have to have an excuse for that. Not just that it makes you look cute.
Say he's the sexiest thing since sex.
Sagacious. Oh, I like this exchange. Sagacious says, I like how he reveals what he's angry about with a ta-da. That, yes, is very funny. Ta-da! I'm angry about that!
Wonder why we even bother coming here.
Hey, did you guys hear about that new student? They say he's the sexiest thing since sex.
Sex ain't that sexy.
Joey,
what's sex?
Well, Tristan, when a man and a woman love each other very much...
Joey, no! We mustn't let Tristan breed!
I remember being so fucking proud of that whole exchange, mostly because, like I mentioned in a previous episode, the script was kind of dictated by which character spoke when, because I wasn't good enough to edit the footage yet to make them speak whenever I wanted them to. So the fact that I had that whole exchange play out with Tristan's little interjection about, what is sex? And Joey just is like, well, here's how it works, man. It just, I just really, that scene makes me want to spend time with these characters outside of all the card game shit.
Thanks, Taya. That was a close one. Huh?
There it is.
Hey, where's that music coming from?
Keep your eyes on me, ladies. Cheap parlor tricks are extremely erotic. Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's so sexy. His cock is so big.
Now, they're talking about smexiness again, and I'll remind you that the reason the word smexy comes up so much in these early Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged episodes is because of one of the side videos where I had the characters answering comments, and people were like, talking about how smexy the Yu-Gi-Oh! Characters were. So I think it was like Joey and Tristan answering them, and he's like, I'm always smexy. Or maybe that's in this, actually.
It's magic. He must be a witch.
I couldn't.
I forgot that Tristan says burn the witch so much in this one. I was so happy when I came up with that joke because it meant that I could end any sequence with Tristan yelling burn the witch. I could just be like, I don't have a great way to end this sequence. And I just want to point out, wow, she is into him. Look at that. But I remember being so happy because I was like, just end the episode, just end every scene with burn the witch, and it's great. What else? There was something else. No, it's gone. But yeah, Tristan thinking that Duke is a witch, one of the funniest jokes that I kind of tried bringing back briefly, much like Duke brought sexy back. I tried bringing the joke back briefly when Duke returns in season 2 by having Tristan go, "It's the witch," but I don't think that I don't think it had legs beyond that. So, but this episode, it's very concentrated here. Oh, and the other thing I should point out that I think is a big deal for this episode, when I first finished this one, when I watched it back, I was like, this one's rubbish. There's nothing good. There's nothing good here, which isn't true. But I watched it back and was like, there's something missing. There's something really missing here that I just need a bit of extra spice to make Duke memorable. And then I thought, what if he had music playing every time he showed up that was like, this guy has his own theme song. And I'd seen, I want to say it was Britain's Got Talent or something like that. It was like some kind of big, like, TV show about, you know, eliminating people who have talent singing or something like that. Maybe even like, I forget. But it's something like Britain's Got Talent. And one of the judges, every time they cut to him, it would play bounce, bounce, bounce. It would play that bit of Sexy back and nothing else. It would just introduce him that way. And I don't remember him being like an attractive person. I think he was just the youngest of the judges, and it was a dude, and that song was popular. So they just kept playing it every time he appeared. And I was like, that is what the song should be. And when I put that in the video, I watched it back and I was like, this is one of the best episodes. It changed me that much. It changed my mind that much.
Help but notice you guys are drooling over me as if I'm some kind of sex object.
Hamina, hamina, hamina.
I'm Duke
That's the first of many hamina hamina haminas on her part.
Devlin. I own the new game shop.
You can own my body too if you want.
Burn the witch!
I'm sorry, I'm just gonna enjoy that.
You must be Yugi. My fangirls have told me all about you.
He's so fucking small. Can I be honest? Yugi is absurdly small. Sometimes it just stands out way more. The fact that Duke has to like practically like break his back in half to look down at him.
They say you're almost as pretty as me.
Hey, Dice Boy, what do they say about me?
Point.
They say you're a loser.
See, sometimes it should have been more of a running joke, but unfortunately I started using actual sound effects. Sometimes I'd be like, there has to be a sound effect here, but I can't think of an actual sound effect, so I'll just say the sound effect. For example, when Tristan throws the Millennium Ring and it disappears into the woods and it goes twinkle. I wish there was more of that because it's funny.
loser with a fetish for dressing up like animals.
I am not a loser, and I'll prove it by challenging you to a children's card game.
That was a very big running joke in the early episodes, was somebody would say, "You're kind of gay, and also, you play this trading card." And Joey would be like, or somebody would be like, I don't play that trading card that much. Just not acknowledging the other insult and accepting it as truth.
I accept, but if I win, then you have to be my slave.
Lucky bastard.
And if I win, then you
It should have been me! Now I get to do the Yami Yugi meme!
have to close your game shop.
Joey, don't you think that's a little extreme? You can't put somebody out of business just because you're jealous.
I'm not jealous. What does he have that I don't have?
Here it comes.
Aside from the fangirls, and the pretty hair, and those gorgeous green eyes.
Don't forget my sweet ass.
Yeah, and a sweet ass. But other than that, he's got nothing.
There's another acknowledgement of my love for butts that I would sneak in here and there. If anybody commented on anybody's appearance, 9 times out of 10, if it wasn't my Valentine, they'd be talking about the butts.
Bow chicka bow bow.
Burn the witch!
Here we are.
What is that? Who would go to that shop? No matter what is in that shop, if you got that outside, I'm avoiding it. Nobody's gonna be lured in by terrifying jester. Oh, you know why it's I just realized. Because in the manga, his dad is like a clown man. But that doesn't apply here. They've kept it.
Are at the game shop. Once I win this card
Holy shit, Yugi's wearing a different outfit. We have to acknowledge it. And he looks cool. He should wear this more. Yugi looking confident and cool doesn't happen enough. Too often he's just wearing that school uniform and being just adorable and wonderful. But here he looks cool.
game, Duke Devlin will be out of a job and he'll be forced to live on the street.
What a heroic thing to do.
Clearly he is a role model for children everywhere.
Now, I want to acknowledge that in the episode, I don't think that they're playing up what Joey's doing as a good thing. What Joey's doing is very spiteful and, you know, it's more about him being jealous of all the attention Duke's getting. So I don't think the show is trying to present it as like, what a hero. But it is weird that his friends don't, like, hold him back.
Welcome to the Duke Devlin Lovenasium. I hope you don't mind, but I took the liberty of inviting my fangirls to watch our duel.
The fangirl.
Oh, Dookie, you're so fine, you blow my mind. Hey, Dookie.
Actually clapping off mic.
Hey, Dookie. It's true what they say. Fangirls ruin everything.
What are you on about, Taya? You are the fangirl.
Burn the witch!
I'm telling you, I decided very early on, if I can't think of a good joke, I could just follow it up with Burn the Witch, and it'll work.
Hey, Dookie.
Isn't anybody gonna notice that I'm not wearing my school uniform?
I noticed, Yugi. You're welcome.
I summon the extremely phallic spaceship, but since it belongs to me, it grows to twice its usual size. Duke Devlin always rises to the occasion, baby.
Now, isn't that a reference to a Konami game? This thing's in Kamen Rider, kind of. Now, I don't want to go on a big Kamen Rider tangent, but what is it, Gradius? That thing, there is a Gashat from Kamen Rider, Gradual. Is that a Japanese version? Is that what they call it? I don't know what this is, what you guys are saying. Gradius? It's the Vic Viper from Gradius. My understanding is that you can get a Kamen Rider toy based on this. I'm looking it up. Maybe I'm wrong. Isn't there a Gashat? I'm looking this up. No, I might have been assuming. I might have just assumed that and been wrong about that. I thought that there was like a special where, because they did Pac-Man. Oh, it is a Gashat from X8. Okay, so there is a Kamen Rider connection here. I just can't explain it very well. All right, let's keep going.
Gradius, totally attack his life points.
Me.
Joey Wheeler lost the bet. Duke Devlin makes our panties wet.
Good grief. All right.
Since you lost, you have to do whatever I want.
Put it on.
That is... Sorry. I know that I'm emulating the actual delivery of the character in the dub there, and that's not really a joke, but for me it's funny because It's my attempt at doing what they did in the dub, which is put it on. And I just did a really put it on.
This is slightly more humiliating than playing a children's card game.
I actually think he looks fun and cute in the dog suit, but obviously it's meant to be highly degrading and humiliating.
Duke Devlin, you've gone too far. How dare you force Joey to uphold his end of the bargain?
Yeah, I mean, in the actual episode, Duke is abusing him. He's like throwing dice at him and saying, you know, speak and all that. Which, to be fair, Joey kind of deserves a little bit. But from Yami Yugi's perspective, the punishment far outweighs the crime. Even though I would argue that many people that Yami has punished, they didn't deserve half of what they got.
I challenge you to a game, and if I win, then Joey is no longer your slave.
Fine by me, but if you lose, then you must swear on the life of your grandfather that you'll never play card games ever again.
Big deal, he'll be dead by the end of the month.
We'll play Dungeon Dice Monsters, a game of my own creation.
The theme song is just blending into the character for me. I'm just like, well, of course that's playing. That's Duke Devlin.
Each take it in turns to draw a dice.
So it's just like Duel Monsters.
Then we use our dice to summon holographic monsters
It's
to
not
the
just
field.
like Duel
So
Monsters.
it's just like Duel Monsters.
But it's just
Both
like Duel
opponents
Monsters.
are given 3 hard points, and when they run out, the game is...
So it's just like Duel Monsters.
Hey, stop it! My game is nothing like Duel Monsters.
Prove it then.
My game
uses dice.
Burn the witch!
Burn the
As
witch.
per usual, I have no idea where I am. I wonder what's going on over there.
Now, I know what I can't remember how this scene plays out in the abridged version. I agree, Mia Pickle. I think Dungeon Dice Monsters actually is very cool, and I don't think it is just Duel Monsters. But Yami Yugi would absolutely say that in this version. I don't remember how this scene plays out, but I know the joke in the dub is Grandpa has hearts in his eyes and is like, oh yeah, I really want a TV that big. Which, I'm gonna say... if what I end up going with is just that he's in love with the women, that's just what happens in the original Japanese. That's not a fun variation on it. The dub, the 4Kids version is funnier than me if that's what happens. Let's find out. I'm pretty sure he just gets horny for the girls, and in that case, I've let you guys down. That's just what happens in the Japanese.
Whoa, Nelly! Yes, work it, baby. Grandpa likes it like that. Shake it like a Polaroid picture.
Come on, you...
So that's all I did. Okay. I mean, I'm not saying that that's offensive. I'm not apologizing for it. I just think that I let you guys down because that's literally basically just what he says.
Doog, you can do it.
Shut up or we'll have you spayed.
That's right.
I've waited a long time for this moment, Yugi. I'm gonna prove to the world that you're a cheater by beating you in a game of my own creation.
You wanna run that by me one more time?
There's like no way you could have beaten Pegasus without cheating.
No, I feel like that should have been elaborated on, but basically the joke there is supposed to be that, well, of course that Duke Devlin's going to have the advantage in the game that he's invented that nobody else has played. Says Straw Hat, you're saying the original was worse. Yeah, probably, but I guess mine's fun because he says shake it like a Polaroid picture, which is, it's funny because it's just weird that he would say that, but...
He was my idol. I've tried my whole life to be just as masculine as he is.
That would explain a lot.
I visited him before the Duelist Kingdom tournament to demonstrate my game. He was totally awesome.
It's really funny to think that while Pegasus is play testing this dice game, he's also conceiving of how to bring a bunch of kids to his island so he can potentially murder some of them and resurrect his dead wife. But he's also like, oh, this game's kind of fun. Yeah, sure, why not?
It was like he'd played Dungeon Dice Monsters his whole life.
That's probably because he had. Your game is exactly like Duel Monsters.
Congratulations,
Yeah.
Dookie boy. This is just what I've been looking for. Dungeon Dice Monsters will make my card game look exciting by comparison. I'll begin funding you immediately.
Dungeon Dice Monsters was set to take the world by storm, but then you defeated Pegasus in a children's card game.
Right, but why couldn't he still agree? Why couldn't you just have his company release the game regardless. Just because the guy died, I don't know. I'm thinking too hard about this. I'm not supposed to do that.
And he dropped off the face of the earth. You must have cheated. It's the only explanation.
Or maybe Pegasus just realized your game sucks ass. Go, Dark Magician. Destroy his life. I mean, hard points.
We're getting another Magical Trevor joke, I assume, but I want to point out, Pegasus thinking his game sucked wouldn't have explained anything, really. But having said that, it's just a really weird point of contention in the story, is that Duke is like, you defeated Pegasus, how dare you, he's my idol. Like, how does that work? Like, games are games, bro. Like, some people win and lose games. Surely you know this, having created a game.
And he's got a new trick. Magical Trevor is 10 times as slick as the last time you saw him.
Now you can see why we really adore him. I want to point out that when he wags his finger there, I was so happy with this back in the day. I don't know how noticeable it is now, but he wags his finger in time to the music. The Dark Magician wags his finger in time to the music. Watch this.
Slick as the last time.
Wag, 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 wag. I was so happy.
Yugi won! His grandpa would be so proud!
Hey, go back to the dancing girls.
Man, Duke.
I think that's even the same as it is in the original Japanese as well. Grandpa's just like, where did the girls go?
I can't believe you actually thought that crappy little dice game would sell.
Yugi!
Yeah, it was just a carbon copy of Duel Monsters.
No!
You'd have to be as blind as my sister to not notice the similarities.
This is going straight up my nose.
I'm not even
The one thing that he says that isn't Burn the Witch.
sure how I got here.
Duke, did I ever mention that my nipples can supply power to a third world country?
What? What a fucking brilliant scene. This is one of the best scenes in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. Can I be honest? Everybody has a great zinger. Grandpa's like, I don't know how I got here. Tristan says I'm putting this up my nose. Taya explains that her nipples can power a third world country. Fuck. I've never written anything as good as that.
I owe you guys an apology. I treated you all like crap. Do you think we can still be friends in Season 2?
Only if you stop using that annoying theme music.
What theme music?
You're the pity you don't understand. You take me by the heart when you take me by the hand. Oh, Mickey, you're so pretty, can't you understand? It's guys like you, Mickey. Fucking Mandark. Long before Paradox showed up in the abridged movie, the Bonds Beyond Time abridged. Weird.
He must be a witch. He turned me into a newt.
They
got better.
Newt Tristan, I like to think that that's canon, that he's not lying, that really did happen to him. That's something that would happen to him that nobody else noticed. And that's all of Season 1. Guys, we got all of Season 1. We watched it. We've watched all of Season 1 of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. Minus all the side content that, you know, some of which I don't even know where I'd find it, but it's out there somewhere. Monster Demon 4244 in the chat says, will you be abridging the current new Yu-Gi-Oh! Movie? And by current new Yu-Gi-Oh! Movie, I assume you mean Dark Side of Dimensions abridged? Dark Side of Dimensions, which I'm not meaning to age you. I don't want to do this to you. I don't want to turn you into bloody Matt Damon in that one Saving Private Ryan gif. But that new current movie is from 10 years ago. In fact, it might be longer than 10 years ago. Let me look this up. Dark Side of yeah, 2016. So 10 years. Not sure how current or new that qualifies as, but isn't that weird? The Dark Side of Dimensions movie is older than Yu-Gi-Oh! Was, well, significantly older than Yu-Gi-Oh! Was when I started making the abridged version, which is weird. 10 bloody years. I seem to be fading to dust. I saw that movie in theaters, and I loved watching that movie. Dark Side of Dimensions, I think, is a fantastic Yu-Gi-Oh! Movie. There are people who have issues with it. I understand their issues. I think they're a bit too hung up on how things should work. And in my opinion, I've always loved Yu-Gi-Oh! For the characters. And that movie does a great job of paying tribute to the characters of Yu-Gi-Oh! There are some people, and this is the one point that I understand that people make against the movie. It's not the only point that people have. against the movie, but it's the one point that I kind of see their point, which is, spoilers for Dark Side of Dimensions, Yami Yugi shows up to save Yugi again. Now, I would argue that up until that moment, Yugi absolutely was holding his own, and absolutely could have won in an ordinary duel situation that didn't involve breaking reality, which is basically what the villain was doing. It wasn't really a one-on-one trading card game. It was, oh, magic is involved, and it's pretty much impossible for a regular kid to deal with this. And so the one thing that happens is Yami Yugi Atem comes from the afterlife and plays a card and leaves. And it's probably the card, I assume, that Yugi would have played. I personally think that that is absolutely something that would and should happen. I don't think it takes away anything Yugi does. I don't think it takes away from anything Yugi feels or does or achieves in that movie. I think the moment that really matters in that film is where Yugi explains that he has had to accept Atem's death, and Kaiba realizes that he wasn't able to do that. That's the moment that matters. The defeating of the villain, the bringing Atem back from the afterlife. I understand why people look at that and say, oh, they're saying Yugi can't win without help. No, that's not what they're saying. They're saying that their bond still mattered, even when the person that he loved was gone. And I think people look at it people are too obsessed with the small details about the lore and about how the game works and who gets to win each fight. That's not the point. People get too hung up on those details. It's about somebody understanding and loving someone who is gone. It's about dealing with that feeling and how Kaiba fails and eventually figures it out. That's my feeling. That's my opinion. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about that. I already did. Oh, sorry. All right. Let's quickly go through these super chats so we can watch a few more episodes. Nick Van, and I'm always getting your name wrong, Nick Van Steertigem. Thank you for the super chat. Who would win in a duel? Bones, I mean Brains, versus Camula, I mean Bat? Oh gosh. Well, I have never seen Bones win a duel. Camula I have seen win at least one duel. And she's beautiful. Camula is just like, whoa. Camula is beautiful. You know, my Valentine, she's a classic Yu-Gi-Oh lady. Camula might give her a run for her money. She's very beautiful. So for those two reasons, I have to give it to her. You know what I mean. Jinx us all. Thank you for the super chat. My sister and I still quote One Track Mind. Did you say 69 to each other? You'll have to forgive me. I don't know what that's from. Is that from my show? It's probably from an episode I haven't watched in years. I do apologize, Jinxes. Anybody in the chat know who said that and when? Was that me? Oh, Ishizu's my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh girl. Absolutely. That's from What Would Yugi Do? Oh, that's why I don't remember. I actually really enjoy that video, though. Been a long time since I've seen it. I know that it ended with the Golden Girls tribute. Fried Rice, thank you for the super chat. Any thoughts on finishing the Yu-Gi-Oh! Zero or do more manga readings in your silky voice? Yeah, I actually would love to do more readings of the manga. I just don't... I'm always doubting myself. That's the problem. I always feel that unless I'm doing a character thing, people don't want to hear my voice or see what I'm doing. But honestly, the manga means so much to me. I'd love to revisit something like that. The manga is my favorite version of Yu-Gi-Oh! So I'd love to do something more with that. Definitely love to finish the Season 0 abridged, though, or do more of it at the very least. I know I kind of skipped around with the episode order. Jesse, thank you for the super chat. I showed the Duke Devlin episode to my niece and nephew recently, and they were laughing the entire time. Well, I'm glad that it still holds up for them. I'm glad it still holds up in general. Papa Podo, thank you for the super chat. I remember getting the Duke Devlin opening narration shirt from you in person at a convention years ago. Sadly, I have no idea where I lost it. Well, now you won't be able to warn people about looking at Duke Devlin. There are going to be people looking at him willy-nilly, without question, without thinking about it. Badin says, how are things going with the next episode? You'll have to forgive me. I know I promised to have released it last week, and I acknowledged at the end of the stream last week that I was hoping to bring it out early this week, and that's still my goal. I would like to release it by Wednesday, hopefully by Thursday. It's real close to being done. I just have to do the music and sound effects and a few extra visual edits. I'm sorry it's taken so long. I really am. There's a lot going on. And Demo, thank you for the super chat. Watched the Devlin episode before this live stream. Kind of funny how you didn't point out Pegasus was cheating as well. He was? Oh, you mean with his Millennium Eye? Yeah, I guess I could have done that. I could have done that. You got a good point. Luminia, thank you for the super chat. Hi, I agree with you that Season 4 is the best. The meta humor and emotionally charged writing make it so special. Intro to Duke was my first ep. Yeah, I think a lot of people would have probably started around the Duke Devlin episode, because that's when Season 1 ended. And so I think a lot of people were like, whoa, you can watch all of Season 1 of Yu-Gi-Oh! Via this random silly parody. But no, I am very proud of Season 4. I don't think it's like flawless. I'm sure there's some moments here and there where I was struggling a bit. I know the first episode of Season 4 is a bit rough. If I remember it rightly, but I'm really proud of the general overall arc of the story and the characters, and I think that it's consistently funny, if not, occasionally not funny. Delta Septile, thank you for the super chat. I used to think BTW meant burn the witch. Well, you know what? For you and me, maybe it does mean that.
Burn the witch? I just bought a new card.
Brady Wells, thank you for the super chat. Kaiba sees Joey's future descendants. Kaiba, oh my god, he reproduced. Nah, man, that's his cousin, Jesse Wheeler. Mekator, thank you for the super chat. Yugi to reject Taya for Duke at the end. They can start a chain of game shops together. Taya can stay in the Egypt exhibit of the museum and lust after stone carvings of Atem. Who doesn't lust after stone carvings of Atem? Let's be honest. And Demo, thank you for the super chat. My favorite Tristan moment was having him control a Duke's theme music. Yeah, it was tempting to have him just go dip, 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 dip the whole time. But then I realized I would have to edit Tristan doing that every single time he did it. But maybe it would have been very funny. It just would have been a bit of extra work for me. Elin Ginsmark, thank you for the super chat. I love your voice acting, especially Merrick. Yes! Love a cheerful, bubbly villain.
I certainly am bubbly. I'm full of bubbles. Blossom, commander and the leader. Bubbles, she is the joy and the laughter, and that's me. Buttercup, she's the toughest fighter. Merrick is to save the day.
Would you rather lose your tan or lose Bakura?
Oh, for me? Lose my tan or lose Bakura, I would rather lose all of my skin, not just the complexion. I would rather lose my entire skin than lose Bakura. I would be like, come give me a hug, I have no skin. And he would be like, does that mean it's going to hurt when I hug you? And I'd be like, very much so. And he would be like, awesome, let's do this.
QMTO, thank you for the super chat. Off the top of your head, what's the most obscure reference you threw into an episode knowing next to no one is going to get this, but screw it, you're doing it anyways? Well, like I've said in a lot of these streams, it's been a while since I've watched a lot of these videos, so I don't remember a lot of them. But if I were to be honest, from all of these ones that I've watched in the streams, I think Joey saying, let's get out of here before we get eaten by a grue. I remember thinking, oh, nobody's going to clock what that is. But eaten by a grue is a reference to, Zork, the text adventure game, which obviously the name Zork comes up in Yu-Gi-Oh! Quite a bit, and in my show. But yeah, I didn't think people were going to get that, because it was such an old school reference. Imp Rush, thank you for the super chat. There are also Castlevania-themed cards in Yu-Gi-Oh!
Ah, I see you like playing cards based on Castlevania.
I did not know that, but I know that there's a Metal Gear-inspired one. There's one that looks like a copy of the art of Solid Snake looking around the corner. I know that's one of them. This is Sparta789789. Thank you for the super chat. Just had a realization. Bakura plays a huge part in Dungeon Dice Monsters in the manga. Sorry. My chair is creaking. a huge part in DDM in the manga. I assume you're saying Dungeon Dice Monsters, but in 2001 he changed VAs to Rika Matsumoto due to Yu Inoue's cancer. Rest in peace. What if they had to rewrite/cut DDM due to that? You're talking about Dungeon Dice Monsters, or are you talking about the dark RPG? I'm not sure what you're referring to. You'll have to forgive me. I didn't know about them changing voice actors. I thought Bakura always had that voice actor. Dungeon Dice Monsters? Oh. I think, honestly, the anime just cut Bakura generally because it started later in the narrative. I think Bakura generally is sort of cut out of both Duelist Kingdom and the stuff that happens later because they didn't introduce him the same way that they did in the manga, and so he just feels more like an afterthought generally. I don't know if it has anything to do with the voice actor, because I feel like they haven't made alterations like that for voice actors before, have they? Grooves actually go all the way back to the original text adventure game, Adventure. Thomas Goodwin with the deep lore. Shy Eye, thank you for the super chat. I've always liked the Bakura killing / hospitalizing Pegasus has consequences for everyone except Bakura. Duke, all of Yu-Gi-Oh! Yeah, no, Pegasus's life and the murder that Bakura commits, like, Bakura just gets to walk away from all of that. He barely even thinks about it, I bet. He's just like, neat, I have an eyeball now. Vorgan, thank you for the super chat. Hi, just wanted to thank you for all your work. You turned Duke from a generic background character into an absolutely unforgettable icon. I would hesitate to call Duke generic in any way. The fact that he has dice earrings is cool. I think he's a very unique character. I will say that the dub, I don't even know if it's true of just the dub, but his contributions to the story become much less as the seasons go by. He doesn't really do much. He just sort of stands there next to Tristan and makes Tristan look, I want to say look good, but no, everybody looks worse than Duke Devlin. He has a car in season 4. Yeah, that's right. He does have a car. Good for him. Death Shredder, thank you for the super chat. Rest in peace, Duke's theme music. Yes, a moment of silence for Duke's theme music. All right, I'm going to read a few more here, and then we're going to jump into the next episode, which is Army of Darkness. Once again, I took the title Army of Darkness and put a Yu-Gi-Oh! Thing in it. Jack Paget, thank you for the super chat. Tarkolus01, thank you for the super chat. Now the app's over, glad to be here. Followed you since 2006 when you really did upload every week, and I was a spry lad of 13 years. Just call me Tom. Oh, I apologize. Tom, I appreciate the super chat, Tom. And yes, I did briefly update weekly very, very early on for, like, I want to say a month or two. It was short-lived, but it felt good at the time. And I felt so confident and cocky. I was like, well, none of these videos are never going to get more elaborate. I'm always going to be able to throw these together in a week. Oh. Gozmadev, thank you for the super chat. Until some time ago, as a clueless Brazilian, I had no idea what Borat was, didn't even know it existed, and I always thought Shadi was hilarious. In my head, he is like that because he's Egyptian. Well, you know, like I said when I was watching the episode the other day, it is probably funnier to not have context because he just seems so out of left field. It just seems so random. Nick, thank you again for the super chat. Tristan, Yugi, mind crush the Scud. The Scud Witch. I know what you're talking about. Yugi, mind crush the Scud Witch. Tristan, I can't do that. His kneecaps, though. I don't want to see Scud's knees. If his knees are anything like his face, they are going to be huge and upsetting. The Linden Hour, thank you again for the super chat. R.I.P. Duke's theme music. We got a few R.I.P. Duke's theme musics. A few people paying homage to Duke's theme musics. Duke's theme music. Jinxes, thank you again for the super chat. Introducing my friend to Yu-Gi-Oh! Starting with Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. Well, that's one way to do it. Personally, I think if you just bang on Yu-Gi-Oh! For episode 1, I think that'll do it. It's a fun, honestly, that first episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters with him dueling Kaiba, it's a fun introduction to Yu-Gi-Oh! It's really, you kind of just get the vibe and you get to meet Kaiba immediately. And that's a memorable experience. Peanut Butter Egg Dirt 1, thank you for the super chat. Dark Side of Dimensions is now as old as Train Spotting, Independence Day, and Matilda were when you started making Yu-Gi-Oh! The Abridged series. Did Independence Day come out in 1996? Wow. Train Spotting, though. I guess it's time for me to make Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged 2. What did they call Train Spotting 2? Was it just called Train Spotting 2? Oh, T2 Train Spotting. What a terrible title. I guess I gotta call it YGO2 Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. Jack Paget, thank you for the super chat. In America. And Tom, thank you for the super chat. How is Burn the Witch not a t-shirt at Shark Robot? I'll have to get on that. I'll have to reach out and be like, here's an idea. That's a classic. That would actually be fun, though. I'm trying to think what the visual would be. I guess Duke Devlin riding a broomstick. Mikey, thank you for the super chat. I had a massive crush on specifically the Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged Joey Wheeler as a youth. Oh! Now I'm non-binary and a lesbian. Not sure what that says, but thank you regardless. Honestly, I'm really happy to hear about your personal journey and experiences, and I'm very flattered that you had such strong feelings for Abridged Joey Wheeler. Yeah. I know the regular Joey Wheeler gets a lot of love, but Abridged Joey, he sometimes is left. He's sometimes deep in the shadow of like Yami Yugi or Merrick. But Joey, he's got it going on a little bit. Come on, give it up for the Brooklyn booty. Thank you, Mikey, for sharing. Great to see you. Super Stitch, you keep saying in the chat, so I want to acknowledge it. I wish we had a new Yu-Gi-Oh! Movie someday, probably one based on Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links app or another massive crossover movie, one that's bigger and better than Bonds Beyond Time. Would that be cool? It would be cool. I don't know how likely it is, just because there's probably a bunch of issues with getting all those characters together and all those voice actors, let alone the characters. I'd love to see it. Sorry, Strange Gunk. I'll get to the next episode in 1 minute. Jesse Dusk, thank you for the super chat. Can Tristan say, my favorite manga is Burn the Witch? There you go. And a couple more here. And then we'll watch Yami of Darkness. Jack Paget, thank you for the super chat.
Your mother plays card games in hell.
I hope she doesn't. She's alive. Void, thank you for the super chat. Happy 20th, LK. Thank you for being such an important part of my and the entire Abridged community's life. Can Frieza call Joey his little pog champ? Come here, Joey Wheeler, you filthy monkey. What is it, Frieza? I don't know what this is. I've been asked to call you my little pog champ, and I am nothing if not, generous. All right, I think there's something weird going on here. I don't even know what a pog champ is, but as long as you're not calling me a dog champ like Duke Devlin did in that last episode, oh, I could never call you a dog. Dogs are too respectable to be compared to you, filthy monkey. I thought we were friends, Frieza. What's going on? No, eventually I turn on everything. Everything will be destroyed. Even my little pog champ. Stop calling me that. It's weird. Alex, thank you for the super chat. Well, sorry if this has been asked already, but what is Marik's F sensor? I can't find it anywhere, and it sends me every time. It is from Perfect Hair Forever, and it is the sensor sound that they use for Quaffio, the evil controller of cats. It's just, as far as I'm aware, Dave Willis saying, F. Anyway, all right. We've talked enough shit. We've shit enough talk. Let's watch some episode 23 of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, episode 1 of season 2. Now, I don't remember how long it took between episodes. I think it was a few months at least. Maybe even longer. But this came out a while after I released those last 3 episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, and then also the Abridged movie. So I really felt intimidated by the fact that I had to follow those. Like, not just the Duke Devlin episode. That alone would have been difficult to follow. But all of that content, including an Abridged movie that, you know, people still quote to today. Season 2, episode 1, I went in with a lot of hesitation and concern as to whether I would, you know, whether I'd live up to the expectations I'd set for myself. Even just for me, you know, even just me looking at my own content, I was like, ugh, I've got to impress myself as well a little bit. And I wanted to start season 2 strong. I don't remember if I pulled it off. I know that this is the first time we hear or see Marik. And I know that Bandit Keith comes back. And so that, to me, it was a bit of a relief. It was like, oh, if we get Bandit Keith, it's got to be funny, right? But I don't remember how funny it is. So we're going to find out. Let's watch.
Don't you wish your card games were fun like mine?
Well, that's not good. I'm already clipping within the first piece of dialogue.
This chain should help keep my Millennium Puzzle safe from the various villains who are always challenging me to children's card games.
Hey, give me some time with that mirror. I need to apply my makeup.
God, you are such a slut.
Yeah, well, you're really small. Look at you down there. You're like Smalley McSmall. That's your name.
Man, I thought that the Yami Yugi voice got deeper and more like... I forget when it starts becoming more natural sounding. And I'm not saying that this voice for Yami Yugi was bad, but I sound like I'm straining every time I'm doing it. So I don't know when that starts to stop happening. I wonder when I get more confident and comfortable with it. It is funny anytime Yami and Yugi are talking to each other. I'm a big fan of that. Anytime you've got a moment with Yami and Yugi sort of bantering or bickering. It even happens a few times in episode 89, and I just love that because they're almost like chalk and cheese because he's so cute and Yami's so handsome and Yugi's so unassuming and Yami Yugi is so commanding. It's just a great dynamic.
Hey, Yugi.
Hey, Taya, what do you think of my new chain? Pretty pimp, huh?
It makes you look ridiculous.
Their voices are so blown out. It sounds like I just had the gain turned all the way up on my microphone and I didn't know what I was doing. I can't tell if that's it or if there's something else going on. I want to acknowledge one thing that happened when I got a certain amount of episodes into the show. I went back and watched episode 1 of YGO Abridged, and I thought that there was something wrong with the video. I thought that the video had been degraded over time or something because I was like, why do I sound so slow? But it turns out, no, that's just how I sounded back then. And it's really weird to think that I genuinely believed that something digitally had degraded about the audio because it sounded so in my head bad.
Well, I think it looks sexy.
You look about as sexy as Mr. T.
Oh, shut up. Let's just go to school, okay?
I wonder who they were.
I bet Mrs. T thinks Mr. T is sexy. Oh, we get the new intro. I still miss the original. The first intro, in my opinion, was the best with the shot of the deck going into his belt and then him flipping his belt around and everything. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, and I correct me if anybody knows that I'm wrong. I think this is two entirely different transformations stitched together because look, the cape comes up. I feel like that's a different moment. I feel like I've cut to a different transformation. I could be very wrong. But I feel like I've cleverly edited two transformations together to become one. And I'm very happy with how the lens flare effect happens when it goes game. That's pretty great. I gotta give myself credit. That was, better edited than my original intro, but the original intro is nostalgic to me. Where's the video? What's going on? Hang on.
And then this one time, at dual camp, I put my deck in my...
Hey, what's that?
Step right up and I will reveal your future.
Oh, I learned how to put audio on top of other audio and make it sound like a cool filter.
In America.
What a crock!
Maybe he can tell me when I'll finally hit puberty.
In order to tell your future, I'll need you to give me your necklace.
My puzzle? No way! Without it, I can't pretend to be good at card games.
Look, do you want your damn fortune told or not?
Well, okay then.
You'll notice that in some episodes, Yugi's like, oh, I'm so sick of this card game. And in some episodes, he's like, I need my puzzle to be good at card games. Much like his hormones, his gamer hormones, I guess, are also in flux.
I predict that you are a gullible idiot in America. Mwahaha!
Now, the joke here, which I do think is funny, is that he keeps saying in America, but the characters are going to be shocked when it's Bandit Keith. Lillian959, can you explain the dual camp joke? It is a reference to the movie American Pie, where Allison Hannigan's character keeps saying one time at band camp and then saying what she did, which all culminates in her saying that she put her flute inside of herself. So Taya presumably did something similar with her deck.
In America.
In America.
Yugi, I hate to break this to you, but you totally deserved that. Hey, come back. You didn't even tell me my fortune. He must be hiding inside this abandoned warehouse.
Welcome, Yugi.
It's very tokusatsu of him to do that.
I see you've fallen right into my trap. In America. Now let's have a children's card game to decide who gets to keep your Millennium item.
But you've already stolen it from me. If anything,
Yeah,
I should
what?
be challenging you.
Yeah, wait, why is he challenging him after he's taken the puzzle? What? I have taken your puzzle physically, and you cannot have it, but let's duel for it.
Look, can we just play the card game?
You're new to this whole stealing thing, aren't you?
No, he's Bandit Keith. He's done a lot of that.
Yo, Taya.
That's a running joke. It's a literal running joke that I need to bring it back, which is when a character is shown running, they just say running.
Whole stealing thing, aren't you?
Running!
Yo, Taya, how's it hanging, dude?
What the hell did you just say to me?
I'm trying to sound more American, so people won't pick on me as much.
Well, stop it. You
You're in Japan, dumbass.
sound like you're from the 1970s.
Oh, come on, baby, cut me some slack. Let's hang out together. It'll be totally cool.
Somebody help! Bakura's gone insane!
Now that she's
People doing different accents is crazy.
out of the way, I can concentrate on finding gay people.
I will admit, I was so excited to bring Bakura back and also have Yami Bakura be more involved in things. But here, when he turns around all dramatically, I just was like, oh, he's pulling out his gaydar. He has to be like, I have to find gay people in a really dramatic way.
Come on, little gaydar, work your magic. It's time to duel in America.
I don't know who you are, but I won't let you keep my puzzle. I summon the frustrated Celtic Guardian.
I am so frustrated.
Hey, he spoke his first words. Congratulations, Celtic Guardian. He's going to go through so many emotions over the course of the series, but he started off with frustration.
Your frustrated elf is no match for my machine monsters in America.
Arigato, Mr. Roboto, domo. Mr. Roboto.
Wait a minute, those monsters look kind of familiar.
It is really funny that he recognizes him through the cards that he uses. Andrew Brown, thank you for the super chat. Is episode 23 the first time Marek stole?
No, I stole your hearts way before that.
Who are you? Show yourself. Oh my god, it's Bandit Keith. I had no idea. Super special, awesome plot twist.
Yes, it's me, Bandit Keith, but I'm being controlled by somebody who isn't American.
You mean you're being manipulated?
That's right, little Yugi.
With my
Yeah.
Millennium Rod, I can take control of whoever I want. I wasn't quite as sexy as I am now, but I was kind of sexy, right?
And you chose Bandit Keith? Why the hell would you choose Bandit Keith? He sucks.
It's simple. Americans are very easy to brainwash.
Oh no, it's too real now.
Isn't that right, mind slave?
Whatever you say, Mr. President.
We gotta save Yugi, so let's just skip school for the 50th time.
Now, here's a character I wish I feel like I didn't do enough with. But isn't there like a gym teacher that shows up and in the dub that they make up a story about how there's a dog that needs help? I forget how I play it in this version, but
You'd think they would have expelled us by now.
What is the meaning of this? You kids should be wearing your extremely tight gym shorts.
what is the deal with the introduction of this character, though? They don't show any of the other school faculty the way they introduce this guy, with a big bright light shining behind him and everything. Why does he get the special intro?
Nah, sorry, coach, but there's been an emergency.
Somebody spoiled the new Harry Potter book
Oh.
for Taya, and she's very upset.
All my fanfics are worthless now. Boo-hoo! Boo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo!
My pink sweater is moved by your story. By all
Is it a sweater? I don't think it's a sweater.
means, take the day off school.
Why didn't we just tell him the truth?
Because lying is fun.
Yeah, I suppose if you'd said, there's another kid that's in danger, there's a chance that something might have been done about it. But let's lie. Man, it's weird thinking back about how Taya was such a big Harry Potter fan. That's quite the character arc she goes on.
It looks like my Millennium Ring has led me to this warehouse. I haven't seen gay readings this strong since that screening of Showgirls.
Gay readings. He's got a little gaydar with a little like. The gay readings are very high here. Why are the gay readings so high here? Because of Yugi? I guess the puzzle? A lot of gay stuff happens in this warehouse, man.
That looks like Bandit Keith and Yugi. Someone must be manipulating this duel. Someone with a Millennium item.
Someone who I'd like to fuck.
The Millennium Puzzle belongs to me! Wait a minute! This thing wasn't made in America! It must be destroyed!
I forgot about that. It is very funny that in the original it's, if I can't have it, nobody can, smash. But in this it's, this is not made in America. It must be destroyed. Sorry, sometimes I'm just going to be like, that's funny.
No, my chick magnet. This looks like a job for Limey Man.
Limey Man!
Whoa, in America!
Bakura, you saved me. I'm here to kick ass and drink cups of tea. And I'm all out of tea.
That's the worst possible situation for him. He's all out of tea. Quick, apply Tetley to him, stat.
I can't believe he broke my puzzle.
Oh, Alison H. Gregory points out the gay readings are high because of Marek. Of course! How foolish of me. I should have known that. Now I'm the foolish fool.
I guess I'd better start putting it back together.
Yes, Yugi. And when you do, there'll be a part of my soul inside it. Then, in about 500 episodes, I'll put my evil plan into motion. I'm so diabolical it hurts. They don't call me Florence for nothing.
I thought you didn't like that name. Anyway, yeah, he is putting part of himself inside the puzzle. And guess what? It still hasn't paid off in the abridged version yet. We still haven't gotten to the big reveal, have we? I don't think so. There's been an allusion to him being inside the puzzle still. But one day, it's gonna be a big reveal. Someday soon. Someday soon.
Here, Yugi, you forgot this piece. Hey, thanks. Wow, you're being really helpful today. It's kind of weird. My mummy says I'm a good boy.
Oh, I wish that I wasn't peeking so much in this audio. My mummy says I'm a good boy. It's so cute, but instead I'm focused on the fact that my voice is just blasting.
You know, Bakura, I think I might be starting to respect you. Thanks, Yugi.
Oh, bugger!
Oh, my sensitive little bottom. Yeah, forget what I just said. Catch you later, dude. Bye, Bakura. Try not to get beat up on the way to school.
Sucker.
It's Bakura. I feel like there was an edit there. I can hear some audio playing before Marek speaks. Am I imagining that?
Cool.
Sucker. You.
Yeah, there's a little bit of like, what? It sounds like it must have cut to outside with Joey, Tristan, and Taya or something, but I think for timing, I just removed that. Which sometimes, back when I was working with, I must have been working with ULead Video Studio at this point, I just didn't know how to edit it in a way that you couldn't tell that there was edits happening.
Have failed me, Bandit Keith, and for that you will suffer my wrath.
Oh.
There is a voice in my head, and it's French, the exact opposite of American. No, stop torturing me. Okay, I admit it. I'm not really American. I'm Canadian. Is that what you wanted to hear, you bastard?
Now that gets referenced a lot. A lot of people are always like, oh, it turns out that Bandit Keith is not American, he's from Canada. And yeah, that is the joke here. The joke is that he was, you know, never American to begin with. I couldn't explain it to you. If I had to give you an explanation, and I just want to shout out Grimjack in the chat, thank you for your patience with me. I do appreciate it. It's good to see you in the chat. Fucking, the reason Bandit Keith says that he's Canadian, and this is the reason for a lot of jokes in my show, is that, and I'm just going to try and explain it best I can. I had a mindset back then, as far as humor goes, especially in regards to YGO Abridged, that if I just did the opposite of what had been established, and you'll remember me talking about this when I made the don't do it, he might survive joke with Kaiba falling off the edge of Duelist Kingdom. My theory was, if I just do what is completely unexpected and completely opposite to what actually happens, it's funny. And I think I tried applying that to Bandit Keith, and I don't think it works. I don't know how many of you feel this way, but to me, him being like, I'm actually Canadian, is kind of a lame cop-out joke. Like, it's just like, all the stuff that I was doing makes no sense. You know, Like, the visual of him with the Canadian flag on his head is kind of funny at the end there, but I really wish I didn't make this joke. In fact, I did try to undo this joke in, I think, the Counseling Evil videos, where Bandit Keith explains that because of something that was happening in Marvel Comics at the time, he got the cosmic cube and it made him American because Captain America was, revealed to be a Hydra agent because of the Red Skull using the cosmic cube at the time. But to me, I just don't think it's as funny to be like, and by the way, all of that was nonsense. That was all bollocks. Anyway, it just kind of undercuts the thing that everybody loves about the character, and I feel like it's unnecessary. But if you guys like it, I'm not going to question that.
Look, that building's on fire. Somebody must be in big trouble.
Oh, here
Let's
comes
forget about Yugi and help these guys instead.
Yeah. Oh, he's gonna yeah.
God, what was I thinking getting that chain? I must be the dumbest anime character ever.
We're coming in. Oh, the door hurt me, Joey.
Here, let me do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Getting so hot. I don't know if I'll make it.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
It sure would be nice if my friends showed up to help. Okay, seriously, where the hell are those guys?
Yeah. Booyah.
Help! This building's haunted by French people.
I do enjoy that Tristan and Joey both have to go yeah to get inside the building. I do enjoy the rapid fire yes. That is funny. This was around the time where I think that I clocked that Joey going yeah was something people enjoyed, and so as a result, instead of just being a background detail, I decided to make it one of the biggest parts of his character. Which, I enjoy to an extent. I still enjoy yeah.
Hugh, what are you doing? We gotta get out of here.
I can't leave yet. Without my puzzle, I can't be a main character.
We didn't start the fire. It was always burning since the world's been turning. Oh my God, it's my Yugi muffin.
Holy shit. That has to be one of the most specific and dated internet things. Oh my God. People don't say that anymore. Like, there's a lot of old school internet things that do still come up these days. But in my opinion, oh my God, that to me, do people still say it? I see it in the chat now. Do people still say oh my God? They do now.
Don't worry, Taya. Aside from some third-degree burns and severe mental scarring, he should be just fine.
I'm a fireman.
Tristan just saying, I'm something, is always fun. I'm friends with Spider-Man, etc.
It seems Bandit Keith was a waste of time.
Manic.
It looks like we'll just have to try again tomorrow night.
Jay Brian, what do we...
Oh no, it's... What? That's Odeon, right? What did... Oh, I must have had a specific idea that I changed my mind about very quickly. I was doing Pinky and the Brain. Why? That would have been terrible if I kept that up. What the fuck? Completely forgot about that.
Gonna do tomorrow night?
The same thing we do every night, Binky Boy. Try to take over the world.
The Pinky and the Brain, 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 brain.
That's fucking weird. That's also fucking weird. But all of that's so weird. I completely forgot that Odeon had the Pinky voice, which would have been a terrible choice. Everyone would have been real tired of that by, like, episode 30. But it was definitely a random joke that I pulled out of the ether just because, like a lot of characters, if I didn't know what to do with them, I made them a reference to something that I liked. And so I did Pinky and the Brain, but that would have not worked. It wouldn't have worked long term at all. I'm glad I changed my mind. I'm just stunned that I did that. No, Binky Boy absolutely stuck around because Binky Boy actually comes before this. No, this was not the origin of Binky Boy. If you remember, there was a Christmas special that I did. There was a Christmas special that was like the Ghosts of Christmas Past. It was a Christmas Carol with Kaiba as the Scrooge equivalent, and Yami Marek was the Ghost of Christmas Present. I forget which one he was. He was the Ghost of Christmas Future, maybe. But that's the video where he kept saying, Binky Boy! And I remember thinking, a lot of people enjoyed that because it was like a really early look at Yami Marek in the abridged version. And so him saying Binky Boy there stuck for a lot of people. So I brought it back for this episode when Marek actually got introduced. But it's not really, it's not actually from the Christmas special. If you want to know where Binky Boy comes from, for me, there's an episode of Friends where I think Monica dates like a foreign ambassador, and at one point, in order to date him, she has to talk to him through his translator because he doesn't speak English, and then the translator ends up turning on him because he doesn't like doing that for him while he's in a relationship. Anyway, there's a moment in that where the ambassador guy looks at his translator angrily and he goes, Binky Boy. And I don't know why that stuck with me, but I brought it into the fucking Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. Anyway, let's watch this. What is this end bumper?
All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up. This is my boomstick.
And that's why it's called Yami of Darkness.
It sure is good to be back home in Canada.
Hey, while you're in Canada, can you get a better microphone or at least learn how to back up from the microphone? Anyway, all right. That was episode 1 of season 2 of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. And yeah, I mean, there are parts of it that work really well for me. I could definitely feel, and I think that I felt this at the time, it felt like I was kind of scared to do anything like, it felt like I was relying on a lot of old jokes. And I don't mean to say this in a disparaging way, even though I kind of feel like it is ultimately a negative. But there's a lot of jokes in there that are just like, hey, remember when we said this before? Hey, remember this thing? Even Binky Boy, even that stuff with Marek is a callback to an extent. The Bandit Keith stuff is all callbacks. Honestly, like I'm okay with the episode. I just feel like I could have had a stronger start to season 2. That's what I feel. That's what I feel. But it's not a bad episode by any means. There's a bunch of references. I think here's the thing. That's, you know what, Stick Tsuchiha. I think you've pinpointed what the weird feeling I had about this early season 2 area, and it kind of starts here. I mean, not to say that there were no references before that, but I feel like around this point is where I started thinking, well, as long as I sort of string together a bunch of jokes that are adjacent to the plot, but also just make a bunch of references to other things along the way, then I can sort of carry myself through the show. And I tried very hard to pull myself out of that attitude after this season. I tried, especially in season 4, I really wanted, like, and in the current season that I'm working on, I really wanted the humor to sort of stand on its own feet and not rely so much on extraneous references and other things. Which is why I was shocked when that Pinky in the Brain thing happened, because that's not something I would have done these days. But I'm not saying that to call myself out and be like, you did a bad thing. I'm mostly just being like, well, that's not what I would do these days. All right, let's read some really quick super chats, and then I'm going to watch episode 24 of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, which I'm very excited about, because it's the introduction of Ishizu, who, not my favorite abridged character, but it's my favorite, one of my favorite characters from Yu-Gi-Oh! Love Ishizu. All right, let me read some of these super chats. Void, thank you for the... Oh, I've already said this. Wumbo, thank you for the super chat. Did you know that when you titled the episode that Yami is just Japanese for darkness? I want to say that I knew that and that it was a meta joke, but I don't think I did. I probably just was like, that sounds like Army of Darkness. But yes, it is funny that the episode was called Darkness of Darkness. Hadn't even thought... I don't even think I thought about that. I can't believe that I thought about that. Andrew Brown, thank you for the super chat. I hope they do a villain Bonds Beyond Time with Marek, Night Shroud, and Rex Godwin. Marek would stand out like a sore thumb amongst that group. Although Rex Godwin, he's half naked most of the time. And so is Marek. Don't know about Night Shroud. He sounds like he wouldn't. He sounds like a guy that would walk around in pajamas. Blankety blank, thank you for the super chat. Love your username. Congrats on 20 years of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. Always loved this show. I watched it a numerous amount of times. Well, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for the congratulations. You're very kind. Nick Van Steertegem, thank you for the super chat. First of all, you're pronouncing my name right. Oh, thank God. And second, the voice will smooth soon. It's before Crowd Atlas for sure. Yeah, I'm just not sure where it starts happening. It's interesting going back and hearing all these voices and being like, I can hear myself learning, but I can also hear myself making a bunch of mistakes. Cobalt Network, thank you for the super chat. It is I, Johnny Steps. I'm banned from all the DDR machines, so now I'm hogging the Taiko no Tatsujin machines. Did you know Johnny Steps is basically Bandit Keith? With a few slight adjustments. In Dance America. And Demo, thank you again for the super chat. Rest in peace, Bandit Keith. You are my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged character from Americanada. Canada America. Andrew Brown. Oh, I already read this one during the episode. Jen Kaiba, thank you for the super chat. I like how Yugi says fortune the way Fred from Scooby-Doo says treasure in this episode. I don't know what you mean. I'll have to go back and see what you mean about that, but interesting. Matthew Galloway, thank you for the super chat. Why does Bakura's accent make him gay, but Bastion's accent makes him posh? Hey, nobody said Bastion couldn't be gay. We just don't dunk on him for that. He could be an implied gay, posh shithead. I'm going to drink some water real quick, sorry. Okay. Oh, oof. Gaming Genji, thank you for the super chat. Happy 20th anniversary. I've been following Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged since 2006. You and Eddie Izzard molded my sense of humor. Episode 88 made me cry laugh. Oh, wow. I'm very, I feel hugely flattered to be in the same company as Eddie Izzard. She's a very amusing person. And I could only hope to be half as funny. But I'm very grateful for that. Thank you for the huge compliment. And I hope that you're able to make people cry laugh yourself with your sense of humor. Monster King 97, thank you for the super chat. Odeon, my voice changed because of gummy bears. That's how it works. You eat too many gummy bears, your voice gets all deep and sexy. Nick Van Steertegem, thank you for the super chat. It's good that we got the gummy bears voice. It's a bit more akin to the dub version. And Ant Demo, thank you again. What is Odeon liking gummy bears a reference to? Jesus, you know what? I don't know why he likes gummy bears. Why does he like gummy bears? I know he summons them at one point. He's like, the gummy bears. But I don't remember why he likes gummy bears. Maybe it'll make sense to me when we get there. Can anyone answer that? Why does he like... He just likes them. Okay. I'll take it. I mean, it makes about as much sense as everything else. Probably trauma. Yeah, maybe it's trauma. Maybe... I think it's probably because he's a big, intimidating guy and him enjoying gummy bears is funny. Willy-nilly. You've got a very good name for today's stream. Thank you for the super chat. I summon my credit card in face-down defense mode. As opposed to face-up defense mode, which is a thing you can't really do unless you're an anime character. Yes. What's not to like? They're always bouncing here and there and everywhere. High adventure that's beyond compare. They are the gummy bears. Dashing and daring, courageous and caring, faithful and friendly, where stories are stories. It's weird. That song is stuck in my head, like, for my whole life. I couldn't tell you a single thing about the show except dashing and daring, courageous and caring. Are they dashing, really? I guess. They're just a bunch of bears. Keizakomu, thank you for the super chat. I used to try and get myself to swear less by combining Marek's frig and Team 4-Star's crap baskets, which became Friggle biscuits. That's good. For some reason, it didn't catch on. I still swear too much.
That's okay. You've given me the gift of Friggle biscuits. Frig your cares away. Frigging's for another day. Let the Matic frig. It's down and friggle biscuits.
I went a long way to get there. Eric Kirby1, thank you for the super chat. 20 years of YGO Abridged. I gotta get in there. You are in here. You've done it. I'm proud of you. That was Fraggle Rock, if you don't know what that was. All right. Vegetables 578. What will you do after Yu-Gi-Oh! The Abridged series? Probably cry a lot. I'd like to work on more original stuff. I'd like to write. I have this idea for a queer romance that I'd like to film with live action actors, set in the voiceover industry and sort of semi about my experiences within it in a humorous fashion. But you know, that is long term. That is me thinking long term. I'd like to do that.
Friggle Rick. They turned me into a friggle.
All right. We have... I'm glad you liked the Solid JJ video, Walker Williams. It was a huge honor to get to work with Solid JJ again. A lot of fun. So this next episode is episode 24 of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, which back in the day when I first came out with this, I think I was really excited that I'd gotten to a big episode number like 24, which is usually how many episodes are in a season of a TV show. But looking back on it, I'm now almost at episode 90, and this episode is basically like a quarter of the way through the series, in retrospect. It's wild to think about. But back then it was a monumentous occasion, so let's meet Ishizu.
Yu-Gi-Oh! It stays crunchy, even in milk.
Well, that's a little too close to the Yu-Gi-Oh's joke, but I'll give it a pass.
Welcome, Miss Ishtar. On behalf of the Domino Museum, I'd like to welcome you to America. Or Japan. I'm not quite sure where we are, it's pretty vague.
I trust you have made all the necessary arrangements for my exhibition.
Don't worry, I have developed an ingenious plan to transport your Egyptian artifacts.
You're placing them inside several vehicles disguised as garbage trucks.
How did you know?
Imagine being like, yeah, we're going to transport your sensitive, valuable, ancient artifacts in these garbage trucks, and we're going to expect you to be okay with that. And we're not going to tell you about it, and then be surprised when you already know about it. That's weird. It's a weird operation they've got going on here.
My Millennium Necklace gives me the power to see the future, and also to break the fourth wall.
That's pretty neat. What else can you see?
In about 5 seconds, you will be interrupted by the opening credits.
What the hell are you talking about?
I do like, and I feel like I don't do this enough, but I do like that the Millennium items have these sort of quirks that don't exist in the show. Like Ishizu there, she can sort of break the fourth wall, which, if I'm being honest, in the Abridged series, that could be anybody doing that. You don't need a necklace. But I do enjoy any time a Millennium item gives people powers that they don't necessarily have in the show.
We interrupt this program to bring you an urgent report. It seems that the Domino Museum is holding an extremely boring exhibition on ancient Egypt.
What? What? Extremely boring? Hey now, that's like, if you consider the ancient Egypt exhibit boring, you consider any museum exhibit boring. Come on.
Apparently, this qualifies as news. In other plot-related stories, Seto Kaiba is about to receive an important phone call.
Hey, big brother, can I...
See, that reporter has the powers of the Millennium Necklace, if he can do that.
I watch SpongeBob.
Shut up, Mokuba.
Oh, that's one of the earliest Shut Up Mokubas. After that, or last episode. Actually, no, this would have been after the Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged movie, so Shut Up Mokuba was in full effect. This is the prime of Shut Up Mokuba.
I'm busy flagging YouTube videos to compensate for the fact that I have an extremely small penis.
Oh. I like Patrick.
I forget, wasn't there a video where he gets a phone call and he picks it up and he puts it down? Oh, that was the Christmas episode, wasn't it? Yeah, he's sitting there typing and he gets a phone call, he picks up the phone, he just hangs up on it immediately. I remember being so proud of that joke.
What the hell do you want?
Hello, Kaiba. This is a Shizu Ishtar. Stop whatever you're doing and look at the TV right now.
I personally invite Seto Kaiba to come to my museum.
What the hell was that?
You see, Kaiba, I called you on the phone specifically so that you would hear my invitation on the television.
Why didn't you just invite me over the phone?
Because I have magical powers.
You do realize you're paying for this call, right?
Man, I'm looking at that and I'm thinking that's one of the earliest instances of me figuring out how to make a phone conversation sound like a phone conversation. Like, I don't think I'd used that filter or whatever I was doing with the audio there until that episode. Maybe I'm wrong. But that is also an earlier version of, like, Ishizu, instead of saying because shut up, she says because I have magical powers, which is a less funny version of because shut up, but it has the same sentiment.
I feel so confused. I can't decide whether I'm the main character or not.
Of course you're the main character. The show's called Yu-Gi-Oh, remember? Yu-Gi-Oh, Yugi. Seems pretty obvious.
This isn't me, like, being critical of this episode or anything, but whenever I see scenes that I feel are iconic, and I feel like this stuff with Yami and Yugi in his bedroom in the original series, this is some of the most important stuff in the entire story, because this is Yugi saying, even if we can't give you your memories back, you can have my memories. It's a really intimate moment. It's a really important moment for them as characters, because this is really the moment that Yugi acknowledges that Yami Yugi is a person and is his friend. Up until this, they've kind of been like partners in the game. They've been partners in doing what they both want to achieve. But this is the moment where they become friends. You know? Truly, like, really, like, this is the moment their bond is forged. And I do kind of feel like I don't do enough with it. But it's been a while. Maybe I'll feel differently watching these scenes.
Yeah, but you're the one who always wins the card games. You're the one who always gets all the fangirls. I get nothing. Let's face it, I'm about as important to the plot as Bakura.
Don't say that. Don't even think it.
Welcome, Seto Kaiba.
See, he's comforting him. That's a nice moment.
I'm glad you came.
I've locked all the exits, and I helped.
Sorry, I love that bit because I remember watching the actual dub and then both showing up and being like, the exits are now locked. And it's like, you needed two guys to lock some doors? Okay.
Tell me what this is about, or I'll be forced to unleash the fury of my anime mullet.
Come this way, Kaiba, and all will be revealed.
I've made some jokes about Kaiba's hair at various points in the series. I think his anime mullet is the best equivalent of it. There's another episode where I refer to him having, like, Justin Bieber hair, and he doesn't have Justin Bieber hair. It's not true.
Let me get this straight. It's been 24 episodes, and we're only just now explaining the plot. Does J.J. Abrams write this show or something?
We've uncovered rare artifacts that depict the earliest game played in Egypt.
I'm going to go back because we want the giant rock reveal. The J.J. Abrams joke was, at the time, a reference to Lost. Which, to be fair, J.J. Abrams didn't really write Lost for the most part. He was involved, but he was not really the show writer. But that's what that's meant to be. It's meant to be a slam on Lost.
Artifacts that depict the earliest game played in Egypt. Behold, Kaiba. The origin of duel monsters.
Oh my god, a giant rock!
That's right, Kaiba. A giant rock.
I can't believe what I'm seeing.
A giant rock!
It's a rock and it's giant.
Yes, and that's not all. Come over here, Kaiba.
Guess what?
And prepare to witness
what else
something
he's gonna
incredible.
see?
Okay, but it's gonna be tough to beat that giant rock.
What you're about to see will change your life forever.
Oh my god, another giant rock!
This giant rock depicts the duel between the pharaoh and his high priest.
What the hell? He looks just like Yugi. But what does this mean?
It means your arch-rival Yugimoto is a reincarnation of the pharaoh.
I love a character like Ishizu because she gets to be a character but also just an exposition fest. But you don't mind because it's Ishizu and we love Ishizu. But all she does in the original show is basically explain things. But we're grateful for that because there's some stuff that needs explaining in this show.
and that history is about to repeat itself. Are you trying to tell me that Yugi and I are destined to play card games with each other for eternity? Yes. Best destiny ever. Now I shall use the
I'm just going to quote the show.
power of my Millennium Necklace to show you the duel between the Pharaoh and your ancestor.
Now, this is interesting because this is from a time when I don't think they'd figured out exactly what the ancient Egypt stuff was going to entail. So the presentation of what's happening here isn't necessarily how it was actually playing out. And I don't remember how much I go into it here in the abridged version. But in the anime, it's like Kaiba and Atem are, no, Set and Atem are dueling. And it's not really made clear why or what's going on. It feels like Priest Set is like rebelling against the Pharaoh or something. But that never seems to be a thing, right?
What's going on? Where am I?
Ignat Chawaneha, Huna Ignat Chawaneha.
Do you guys know Huna Ignat Chawaneha? That's from the Fire Ant episode of Space Ghost Coast to Coast, a show that I'm constantly referencing in this series. But it's the gibberish that Space Ghost is chanting to... There's like a tribe of people in a flashback that are trying to eat Space Ghost, Moltar, and Zorak. And so... It's a chant that he says, and it's stuck in my mind, so I brought it in here for some reason.
And now, we demand that you wear a shirt that covers your manly chest. You're making us all look out of shape.
Our Pharaoh can wear whatever he wants. He worked hard to get that physique.
Why don't you marry the Pharaoh if you love him so much?
Maybe I will.
The further we get into the show, the more I'm going to be able to quote it as it's happening, because I remember some of this stuff. It's wild, though. This is such an interesting moment in Yu-Gi-Oh! Because it's so self-contained, and yet it feels so important because it's the first time you see any of this stuff. It's the first time you see Yami Yugi as a pharaoh, really. Right? And yet it's so not really relevant at the end.
Blue Eyes White Dragon, destroy all his monsters. That guy looks just like me. And he has a blue eyes, just like me. And he's an asshole, just like me.
Why is he an asshole? You don't know him. You're making a lot of assumptions about Kaiba. And you know what happens when you make assumptions, Kaiba? You make an ass out of you and options.
I must be looking into the distant past. It's just like eternal darkness. Ha ha ha.
Fuck. There you go, eternal darkness. And that's something I used to do back in the day a lot, whereas like I would be like, it's just like video game, or it's just like TV show. But Eternal Darkness deserves a shout out because that's one of the best games ever. I don't think this is exactly like that, though.
Victory is mine. Unfortunately.
We're saying Ming? What are you guys talking about? Ming? Did I say something about... Oh, I say. You're making the joke about assuming. I see what you're saying.
We will never know who won that fateful duel, because their name is hidden by ancient Egyptian spoiler tags.
That's good. I remember the ancient Egyptian spoiler tags. It's just a chunk of rock is gone.
Now, do you believe me, Kaiba? Since I'm the most skeptical person on the planet, I'm going to say no. I'll be leaving now.
I could have sworn I said assumptions, not assuming. Maybe I'm wrong. Liliane, Little Karibo, can you make it canon that the guy who defended the Pharaoh is Jerry, the same guy from Afterlife video? Afterlife video? Jerry? Is this stuff that I should know what it is? I don't know. Who's Jerry? Who is Jerry? I'm gonna pause the episode and ask who is Jerry. People are saying that should be Jerry. Jerry, the guy who loves his work. Who is Jerry? Who is fucking Jerry? Jerry must feel real bad right now. Yeah, the guy you push out of a window. That's Jerry? I thought it was Bill from accounting or Jerry. Oh, Jerry. Oh, right. No. Okay. The problem is I recorded that audio a while back and I didn't remember what the fuck you guys were on about. Right. Jerry from the Solid JJ video. I understand now. the thing that happened very recently. The video that just came out. I should be aware of this. I need to update my headcanon. Sorry. Fucking Jerry. Right. Jerry's a good guy. Hit play on the video, Martin.
Wait, Kaiba. Don't you want to know about the powerful cards I promised you? You never said anything about powerful cards. Well, I meant to. Behold.
That's good. Sorry. I just love that she's like all-knowing and very mysterious, but she's also like, I forgot to mention the thing that I wanted to really enforce.
Old Kaiba, the 3 Egyptian god cards, Obelisk the Tormentor, Slifer the executive producer, and Mega Ultra Chicken. Mega Ultra Chicken? That's just dumb. It is you who is dumb.
Now, if you don't know this, I think I talked about it in a previous stream, but the Egyptian god cards, very important to the series overall, of course. I couldn't think of any funny name for Winged Dragon of Ra, and I thought that Slifer, the executive producer, was funny. And I remember going on LiveJournal and saying, what should the Winged Dragon of Ra be called? And I didn't make it like a poll. I think I just asked people in the comments, what do you think the Winged Dragon of Ra should be called? I don't remember, but it came down to people all agreeing that he should be called Mega Ultra Chicken. This was a fan decision. This was not something that I chose, but because it's an Adult Swim reference, it fits in with everything else. It fits in with all the other random references to Aqua Teen and all that. So Mega Ultra Chicken, if you don't know, is from the Season 4 opener of Aqua Teen, where Meatwad is playing Video Ouija. And there's a reference to a giant chicken called Mega Ultra Chicken. And I don't remember what the context is, but it's there. He is legend.
Pegasus created them to be the most powerful cards in Duel Monsters.
I love the little chibi sort of ancient Egyptian Blue Eyes and Dark Magician fighting each other.
If these cards are so great, why didn't Pegasus use them in Season 1? Because the writers hadn't thought of them yet.
Also, they're difficult to get, let's be honest.
In order to keep them safe, Pegasus entrusted them to me, but then I...
Oh, is that right? Pegasus left them with you? Is that what happened? Did Pegasus even know you that well? I'm sorry, I'm reliving the plot, and I'm like, wait, hold up, is that right?
Immediately lost 2 of them. Way to go. They were stolen.
That's true. She did lose them, of course. Marek has one, and what happened to the other one? Oh, that's right, Marek has 2 of them, right?
From me by the Rare Hunters. Rare Hunters? Who are they? An elite group of card game enthusiasts who spend their time stealing rare and powerful cards.
One thing I've really come to appreciate about Japanese media in general, especially like media aimed at young, shonen, anime, etc., from watching tokusatsu, is that the evil organization is always just some version of the mob. And I think the Rare Hunters are like Marek's version of like the classic evil organization, which, it's not unique to anime or to Japan, but this very much feels like Marek would be giving orders to like fucking Goldar or some shit.
Kind of like what you did in the first episode, only these guys steal from people who can actually fight back. Yeah, whatever. Kaiba, if you were to hold a tournament, your reputation would attract the greatest duelists in the world.
Look at them spinning around. I think Kaiba even makes a comment about getting dizzy here, right?
It would be the biggest concentration of nerds ever assembled outside a Star Trek convention.
Oh man, huge slam on Star Trek. A little Karibo of 2007? 2007, I think? He had his finger on the pulse of nerd culture. Star Trek.
I see. So it's a trap. You want to lure the Rare Hunters to Domino City so that you can get back the Egyptian guard cards that you lost like an idiot.
Guard cards.
Look, can we stop talking like this? I'm getting very dizzy. Fine. Why should I help you?
The idea that she was controlling that.
Because if you do, I'll give you this. Can it be? Obelisk the Tormentor. You may borrow this card during the tournament.
It's funny that I called the previous episode Yami of Darkness, but this episode has all the music from Army of Darkness in it, playing constantly.
But I shall expect it back. You do realize I'm just gonna keep this, right? I mean, there's no way I'd ever return a card this valuable. Shit, I hadn't thought of that.
There's kind of the vibe in the original episode as well. Kaiba's like, you must be a fool to think I'm going to give this back. And Ishizu goes, you will give the card back. Which, you know, she's predicting it, but ultimately he doesn't give it back. He just has it taken from him when he loses, so... But I always loved Ishizu's response to Kaiba being like, you think I'm giving this card back? And Ishizu's like, yeah, you will.
Your psychic powers are surprisingly lame. I see everything. I can even see into your future. In 10 years, you will open a duelist academy that teaches children how to play card games. And you will look exactly the same as you do now. Well, now I know you're full of crap.
That's probably one of the most specific early references to GX and the events of GX, aside from the Yu-Gi-Oh! DMX joke that I make in the early season 1. But that was the start of a lot of me being like, well, it's like, imagine if we were in the spin-off show, and then somebody else being like, that would be terrible. Which, you know, I think from the perspective of these characters, it's funny, but it got a bit overboard. There are people who resent me, understandably, for dunking on GX quite as much as I did. Which, in retrospect, I don't think GX deserves half the hate that I gave it, even tongue-in-cheek. I love GX. I love those characters. I love those cards. I love those butts.
It's just not fair. I've been in love with Taya for years, but she never even noticed me until you
never even noticed me.
Came along. It's you she loves, not me.
What about that My Valentine chick? She likes you.
She's not my type.
No.
She's not?
Not your type. Are you blind? Her boobs are bigger than you.
You have everything and I have nothing.
That's not true, Yugi. You'll always have card games.
That's a reference to we'll always have Paris, right? But I don't know if that was... I'm being way too critical of myself. It's a cute moment just because they are kind of being intimate together in as close to intimacy as the abridged characters can get, if I'm being honest. But I think I was way more interested in what was going on with Kaiba and Ishizu. And, you know, who can blame me? They have a lot of chemistry.
This children's trading card, I will totally rule the world.
Alright, Mokuba's driving.
Wait, who's driving the car?
Hi, bro.
Mokuba?
I'm your new chauffeur. Wee vroom, yeah!
No joke, they just died. Oh, me. Did you know who Criswell is? If you've ever seen Plan 9 from Outer Space or heard reference to it, Criswell is the opening narrator who shows up and is like, in the future, events such as this will take place in the future. Great character. Well, he's not a character, he's a real person, so actual scam artist, very funny in the movie. Future events such as this will affect you in the future. He's the guy that predicted that dark rainbows were going to show up and suck all the oxygen out of the atmosphere, right? Future events such as this.
Hello. My name is Inigo Montoya.
Ah.
You killed my father. Prepare to die.
He didn't actually kill your dad. You did that. Just for the record, Marek. All right. Well, I think that's the last of the episodes I'm going to be able to get through today. But we watched a good amount of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged there. Thank you for having patience with me and sort of allowing me to attempt to remember what my mindset was, what the reason was behind a lot of those jokes. Frankly, a lot of what I'm getting out of this is just getting to chuckle at a lot of old humor that I threw out there on the internet, and I'm kind of getting to enjoy it all over again. I expected to do a lot more cringing, and I think a lot of you probably expected me to do more cringing than I'm doing. I know that there is some content in here, and we encountered some of it early in the stream where, you know, looking back on it, it's a bit iffy at the very best. That's the best you could say, is like, it's a bit iffy. Some of you enjoy some of the more problematic jokes, and again, I'm not trying to take that away from you. But I do want to make a point and acknowledge that I am in a different place. It's not the kind of joke I would make these days. If you still enjoy it, that's totally your right, and I wouldn't want to take that from you. But the one thing I do want to acknowledge is that having rewatched that episode, episode 21, and having still enjoyed it regardless of that content, I feel proud of the fact that people were still willing to give me a chance after those jokes occurred, and I'm grateful that people still, you know, were willing to take a chance on a guy like me. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a way to summarize things, but ultimately, I kind of had to figure things out for myself. You can't force somebody to you can't force somebody to see things from a different perspective. You have to allow them to reach that perspective themselves. Otherwise, you're just basically doing what Marek does, which is like forcing your ideas upon people. And I've never found that is helpful. And I personally am very grateful for the opportunity to grow and learn and figure out what works and what is inappropriate for me. All right, let me read some of these last super chats, and we're going to wrap things up there. Okay, we have from... Oh, we got quite a few here. Deoxy360, thank you for the super chat. Happy 20th anniversary. Random fun fact. In Australia, when Season 1 aired in syndication, it would stop at Part 2 of the Dungeon Monsters episode. The Dungeon Dice Monsters episode? That's interesting. I mean, that is actually the end of Season 1. So I have to assume that's why. You know? That is the final episode of Season 1, so I assume that that's... Or are you saying that there's a third part? Oh, maybe there's a third part. I don't know. Nick Van Stiertegum, thank you so much for the super chat. Piccolo, I can't do a good Piccolo voice, but
it's time to dodge!
Yugi, super special awesome chocolatey covered dark magic beam cannon. I don't watch enough DBZ to know what any of that is. I assume that's a Gohan thing. Oh, there are 4 parts to the Dungeon Dice Monsters episodes. That's really weird then. They must want you to believe that Joey is stuck in a dog suit for the rest of his life. Matthew Galloway, thank you for the super chat. Would you shop at the Moto Family Game Store? I would be there every single day, just because I want to hang out with Yugi and his friends. As you know, if I would, it's going to be weird as a 43-year-old man hanging around a game shop to chat to Yugi and his friends. But if I were their age, if I were in that world and I could be a Yu-Gi-Oh character, like a fun, happy-go-lucky sort of shonen guy, I would absolutely hang out at the Family Game Store. I would wanna hang out with them, you know? That was something, when I started watching Yu-Gi-Oh, I was in my, like, early to mid-20s, and I didn't really have any friends, and so I was always like, these guys are the friends that I wish I had. I hate to say it, I was a lonely guy. Bennu, honestly, I want to highlight something that Bennu in the chat 104 has said. You have people telling you that these jokes are funny. I hope that makes you feel a little better about it, that people can essentially laugh at themselves in a way. I appreciate that sentiment, and I want to re-emphasize, if some of these jokes that I have expressed regret over make you laugh, I think that matters more than anything that I could put out there. What I feel about my show is what I feel about my show, but I have left all of the content up for you to enjoy however you see fit. And I want you to know that I appreciate that. I appreciate the fact that a lot of this content, you know, there are people who are saying it was of the time. I don't even know if it was off the time. It all came from me. It didn't come from a time. It came from a person. But at the same time, if you watch that content and you enjoy that stuff and you even get something out of it, there are people, like I said, who can only enjoy problematic materials because it's the only place they see themselves showcased or acknowledged or represented. I get it. Like, take what you can get, you know, and if you get something positive out of it, I'm very happy to hear that. I don't think it's all negative. I don't think it's all sad and sorry and like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Ultimately, it comes down to the individual. And as an individual myself, I wouldn't be making those jokes today, but I'm grateful that you still enjoy them. Chris MM, thank you for the super chat. Your series is amazing, Martin. What's your favorite parody song you made? Oh gosh, I'm a big fan of Pharaoh's Throne. What do you want? Come and throw me a bone, because you're not going to take my Pharaoh's throne. It's just catchy. Grim Jack, great to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Yes, X Arc and X. I remember that very vividly. It was Yomacon. And I was sharing a very real story. It's a very real memory. I'm sorry to I know that people probably are like, well, I'll just wrap things up, but I think it was possibly even the 10th anniversary of Yu-Gi-Oh! No, I think it was episode 50, so it was like the 50th episode anniversary or whatever we called it. But I was on stage and I was sharing a very specific memory I had. I remember walking home from sports at school, and I always felt most lonely when we were playing sports, because nobody wanted me to play sports. I was no good. I wasn't a good athlete. Most of the time, if I was involved in a sports game, I was like the goalpost, you know? I was not actually a part of the team that was playing. I was just an accessory. It always made me feel really lonely. And I remember walking home from I guess you call it PE. I was walking away from school, and I remember thinking to myself, if I could just make all these people laugh, or if I could just make somebody laugh, I know that I could feel like I wasn't alone. I know that I could feel like there was somebody else in my life that I mattered to, which is I don't know how real that is. I know that a lot of it was sort of based in, I was in my own head about it. But there is an element of truth to the fact that I don't know how to connect to people without making them laugh a lot of the time. That is kind of my go-to. And when I try and just open myself up to people, when I try and just be normal, when I try and just be myself, it feels like there's a big disconnect between me and other people. And so that was kind of what I was struggling with in school, was I don't know how to connect with people, and I'm scared. It was honestly a huge fear that I would remain alone. And like I said on the panel when I was talking, if I could just make one person laugh, I would feel like I mattered a little bit. And I really, it blew my mind that anybody would laugh at my content as much as you guys have, and it still blows my mind to this day that there are so many people that still think about it with such fondness and such positivity. And I am grateful that this is going to sound weird, but I'm grateful that I feel like I matter. And I want you to know that it really is a two-way street. I'm always saying this. It's a two-way street. Because you make me feel like I matter, I want you to know that you matter. You really matter. Just because you've made me feel that way. And you didn't have to do anything. You just had to be positive and laugh. You didn't have to do anything. You matter even if people aren't there, even if people don't recognize you, even if you feel like you haven't connected with anybody, you still matter. Thank you. And then Chris MM wrote, also my last name is Melvin, can I have a hug?
You can have as many hugs as you want, Pinky Boy.
Three Roads Gaming, thank you for the super chat. Hard to believe this show is 20 years old. I was a directionless college student when this came out. Now I'm married with 2 rabbits. Wild. 2 rabbits? That's so cool. I'm jealous. That's awesome you have rabbits. And congratulations on being married. We've all been directionless at one point or another in our lives. It happens even when you're grown, even when you're like way late into your life. You feel like you lose your way every so often. But it's important to not give up. And I'm very happy that you have those rabbits. I'm happy those rabbits have you. Tom, thank you for the super chat. To quote my favorite vampire, it's a big rock. Can't wait to tell my friends they don't have a rock this big. I don't know what that's from. Is that vampire? Is that from like What We Do in the Shadows or something? You'll have to forgive me. I'm not familiar with that vampire. Aquamelody8, thank you for the super chat. Happy 20 years. Thanks for all the good memories and a surefire way to put myself to sleep. I have really bad ADHD insomnia and the predictability of the jokes is really calming. Oh, that's wonderful. I'm wishing you many good years to come. I'll tell you, one thing I struggle with comedy and watching it myself is I always feel that the comedy is predictable. Not necessarily what they're going to say, but the way they're going to say it. Oh, it's Spike from Buffy. I haven't watched enough Buffy to know that stuff. I'm sorry. But yeah, I think that's wonderful. If the comedy and its predictability is calming, that's really cool. I hadn't even thought about it that way. Comedy is kind of calming, isn't it? May, thank you for this. Oh, no, sorry. Carkick, thank you for the super chat. Ishizu, this is a bucket. Dear God, there's more. No. I don't know the bucket joke. Is that from something? May, thank you for the super chat. I found YGO Abridged 20 years ago as a high schooler obsessed with Yu-Gi-Oh! My college boyfriend, now husband, and I first bonded over quoting Darts and Marek. Thanks for being a constant brother in IBD. Oh my gosh, that's really sweet. I really appreciate that. And congrats on finding your partner. And that's not the first time somebody's mentioned bonding with their partner over the Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged quotes. So I'm glad that so many people have found love through these random Yu-Gi-Oh! Jokes. Yes, sorry, Superstitch. If I don't see your message, please don't keep spamming it. I apologize that the messages have to be deleted, but at a certain point, it just means that I'm not going to answer it if I don't get to it. I do apologize. You don't have to keep spamming it. A few more super chats here. Oh, my voice is a bit shot. I do apologize. Lion of Duty, thank you for the super chat. I started watching Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged during chemo. Now see it so much, use it as a white noise at night. I've loved it long enough to maybe get to the final... Oh, I love that I've lived long enough to maybe get the final season. Lion of Duty, I will do my best to get the final season out for you. I'm sorry that it's taken so long, but I'm proud of you for fighting through all of that. I wish you I hope that the rest of your journey through that is a smooth one. I hope that you're doing okay today. And just know that we're all rooting for your recovery. We're all rooting for you to do well and be okay. Shady Ray Gun, thank you for the super chat. The rare hunters get replaced by Shocker from Kamen Rider. How does this change things? Yami Yugi gets much bigger eyebrows and starts posing and saying, Rider Henshin. To. Bam 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 Yu-Gi-Oh! Eliezer, thank you for the super chat. LK, can you call Obelisk Big Blue Buff Daddy in a later episode? I'll try to remember, but you'll have to forgive me if I don't remember. Andrew Murray, thank you for the super chat. Hey man, I started watching you in 2010 after you guest voiced Tristan in a K-On! Abridged back in the day. Not sure if you remember that, but you've been amazingly entertaining. I don't remember that, but that's really funny. I'm in both the official K-On! Movie and the abridged K-On! I didn't remember that. That's funny. Was it just Tristan? Sidra, thank you for the super chat. Hi LK, would you ever go back to being on camera in the GX watch? Your facial expressions are such a joy in those earlier episodes. You're not the first person to suggest it, so I'm going to take that into account, and I will consider bringing that back. Being on camera is weird for me. I don't like the way I look, but maybe it's time to put myself back on camera. D'Angelo Woods, thank you for the super chat. Can you say for me, Rawr, I'm a monster. Congrats. Rawr, I'm a monster.
Rawr! What you doing, Mr. Volcano? Hello, Tyrannosaurus Alan. Birds.
And I feel like there was another super chat that I've missed. There's at least one. There's two others. J Plays 1865, thank you for the super chat. Hey LK, congrats on 20 years. I was in 7th grade when Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged series came out and met you 2 years later at AX. I'll always remember that you did a Marek line at my request, and now in my 30s I'd like to request a
Draw Monster Cardo! Draw Monster Cardo!
There you go. You got 2 for good measure. In fact, here's a third one.
Monster Cardo!
I'm upsetting my dog. I shouldn't do that. KK Rebs, or K Krebs, OU8DK. Thank you, Krebs, for the super chat. I started watching you back as a middle school boy. Now, all these years later, I'm still laughing and watching you as a girl in grad school. Thank you for the years of laughter and everything you do. Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you for introducing yourself. I love to hear that. And thank you so much. Oh, I blew out the mic. I do apologize. Did I?
Draw Monster Cardo!
I tried to back away from the mic, but I must have it turned. I must have the gain turned up. I apologize. Was it that bad? Oh dear.
Draw Monster Cardo!
I'm trying real hard. I can't hear it, so I'm sorry about the microphone. All right. There was one more. Here we are. Oh no, that was it. Thank you so much, Krebs, for sharing, and thank you so much for the super chat. All right, guys.
Just for the record, the next card was also a monster. I back away from the microphone to draw Monster Cardo!
There we go. I do apologize that the mic is that sensitive. I should have turned the gain down, but it's all the way over there.
It couldn't handle the draw Monster Cardo.
All right. Thanks for hanging out with me today, guys. That's been a fun stream. We watched another 4 episodes of the show. One day we'll watch 5. Wouldn't that be fun? But we gotten through the first season. I'm proud of us. We only have 3 more seasons to go. 3.5. But I'm going to call it there. Sorry to wrap things up so abruptly. But I have to get going. Have a great rest of your night. I hope you're doing well. And I'll catch you next time. I'll catch you on Wednesday when I'll come back with more of this. More celebrating the Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged 20th anniversary. And we'll watch some more of that. And hopefully, I will have a new episode to show. That's my hope. It might not be on the stream, but in the coming days, this week, I wanna say that that's happening this week. I really hope it does. That's my goal. All right. Have a great rest of your Monday. Take care. Bye. Good night.